24 hours ago, Liverpool Football Club were crowned Premier League champions. We still haven't managed to lift the trophy yet, and we still haven't had the parade, so there's more celebration to be done. And if rumours are believed to be true, there's a big summer ahead with a lot of money to spend. And Adam Wharton has today been linked with a move to the Reds, among some other players who have been linked to a move away. People, it is the first Monday night live show since we've secured number 20. Sit back, relax, let's get into it.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Yes, lovely people. As always, when we get behind the mic, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. On a day where Liverpool have continued celebrations after securing number 20, Adam Wharton's been linked to the club. Nunes has been linked to a move to Europe. Diogo Jota has now been linked with a move to Saudi. And the biggest question of the day is, who wins a fight? One gorilla or 100 men? I'll let you guys decide. But anyway, people, we've got a lot to speak about this evening. A lot of quotes from some credible journalists. A lot of fanfare, a lot of celebrations, a lot of happiness and joy, relief, exhilaration, all the lovely superlatives you can think of. And also we've got to speak about a certain number 66. Will he stay or will he go? Time will tell. Time will tell indeed. Firstly, people, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? If you're on a live match reaction, hold on. True say you lot are asking for it. Beard is going crazy. Beard is going crazy. Yeah. Nothing long. Yeah. All I'm saying, I might not cut the beard now again, because if we're winning trophies now that I've grown a beard, maybe, just maybe, this has been the vibe all along. Maybe this is what gets rid of the curse. Maybe this is why we're starting to win trophies again, because I've just gone, yeah, I'll grow it now. Maybe, just maybe, everyone's starting to see, well, you know, Cal's growing a beard, I'll grow mine. Wow. Here's the first hater of the day, everyone. Get your tomatoes ready for Theo, the first hater of the day. Here it is. That beard is going for a famine, bro. Everyone get your tomatoes in the chat and throw them at Theo for being a hater. Everyone just throw them at Theo and just go boo. Tomatoes to Theo. On a day we're celebrating, there's still haters about. It's sad. What a sad day. Wow, Troy, you're aiming the tomatoes at me. I can't even celebrate. Big up Lakers in the chat. I think I saw Jamie Phillips earlier as well. You know what to do, people. Go and subscribe to Jamie's channel. Also, subscribe to Lakers' channel as well. Lakers has a YouTube channel. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel as well. Right. Let's get into the big up Anila. Hope you're well. Big up to all of you as well. And please do smash that like button. Subscribe, guys. Let's get to 1,000 likes on this video. Big yards, I see you, bro. 1,000 likes, guys. I think that from now on should just be like it. Any stream we do should be on 1,000 likes. We get way over 1,000 views for each video we do, pretty much. So please, let's make it 1,000 likes. Right here, let's get into it. And I'm gonna start off with some quotes. The journalists have been busy today. They got behind the keyboard and they started typing today. And this is the first one. And it is from Chris Bascom. Arne Slot will be backed with one of Liverpool's biggest ever summer transfer budgets to pursue a record-breaking 21st League title as the champions ready themselves for a fresh challenge from the chasing pack. Now, when you hear that, automatically some people go, wow, we're going to get loads of money. But I don't actually know what the biggest transfer budget we've ever had is. If I'm not mistaken, it would have been when we rebuilt the midfield under Klopp, right? And even then, we sold Fabinho, we sold Henderson. I can't remember who else we sold that summer. What does biggest transfer budget mean? And why is it that that's been reported? Because really and truly, from the club standpoint, really and truly, it doesn't really make sense to put that sort of information out there. Yeah, I'm back on the juice today. It's a celebration. It doesn't really make sense, because if you're trying to negotiate and you're trying to bring in players, the last thing you want is the journalist or a journalist who has worked with Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. He appears on LFC TV. The last thing you'd want to be saying is that there's loads of money in the transfer kitty, because then when you approach a team for a player, that team's going to go, oh, well, we hear you got a lot of money. It's not 30 million for that player. We actually want 45. That's what we would do as a club. Let's be real. Like, let's call it how it is. If we found out a club had 200 million in the kitty to spend and they came for one of our players, that player automatically you add an extra 10, 15 million to. So for me, I don't know. Plus, these messages, they go in one ear and come out the other at this point. Because let's be real, for years upon years upon years upon years upon years, we've been hearing this. For years on end, we've been hearing this is going to be the biggest summer. This is going to be the biggest transfer kitty. To be honest, I don't really care about that stuff today. I don't actually care about that stuff today. Today is literally just about celebrating. Let's be real. We know we're not going to get stupid amount of money. We're just not. Like, there's a reason why Edwards and Hughes have been brought in, because we are smart with how we make our player acquisitions. Under these guys, we're very smart. It doesn't have to be the most expensive player out in the market we go and get, but it has to be the best and the right player. So I don't think we go crazy and spend loads of money, but I don't think we have to spend crazy to maintain this title or retain it, should I say. I do think we have to spend and we have to sell some players and replace said players, but I don't think we have to go crazy like that. Plus, I saw John Henry yesterday. Everything's all right, man. Everything's all right. Like, I reckon they would have started working behind the scenes. Obviously, we still don't know what's going on with Trent. We'll speak about that slightly later on in the show. You'd imagine a left back. In fact, let me not speak. Here's another quote. I think this time from Lewis Steele. He says, Liverpool want a left back, central defender, and forward, while a midfielder could also be on the menu. Some players will leave, but that is expected to. Some players will leave, but it is expected to be a busy summer at Anfield. So once again, I mean, left back, centre back, and forward. I'll ask you guys in the chat, if we only signed 3 players and those were the 3 players, how would you guys feel? If we signed a top draw left back, a top centre back, or a centre back who we believe could be one of the best, and then a forward. Because a forward is quite vague. Is a forward a striker? Is a forward a winger? Is a forward who can play across the front 3? Is a forward the number 10? Who knows? So for me, it's like, I don't know. Oh, wow.
It's a celebration, my friend. What's going on?
Really gone for it today, yeah?
Yeah, man. Big up the chat. Well, go on. I could hear you, by the way, so I know everything you were talking about.
That's purple still.
It's just the way the light's reflecting.
That's different still. I rate it.
Parade settings already in motion. Come on. You know how we do, bruv.
What's your thoughts on the quotes coming out about it's going to be Liverpool's biggest transfer budget?
Yeah. Remember, I told you already, I think we're going to go big.
What's big, though?
300 mil plus.
You think we spend over 300 mil?
Yep.
That's including player sales, obviously, right?
Yeah. Players going out as well.
You reckon 300? So how much do you reckon we'll bring in?
Minimum 150. We'll bring in minimum 150.
And then we spend another 150 net.
300 plus. Big summer.
What makes you so confident of that?
It's a combination of a few things, man. It's a combination of the fact that we haven't spent any money for the last few windows. Slot is definitely going to want to put his stamp on the team. There are glaring holes in the squad. And there's, I remember I think one of the things that gives me more hope than any is that Slot said, when you've got players like Van Dijk and Salah, how do you really get better? So he knows what the levels are. So he's not going to be buying any mugs. I think he's only going to be looking to bring people in that are on that Isak type level where he knows they fit in. And they're not going to come in and be like little sidemen. They're going to come in and they're going to actually elevate us and take us up a level. So that's one of the main reasons why I do believe one, if not two, of the players that we signed are going to be of a whole nother level to what maybe some people are thinking. So I'm looking forward to this, man.
All right. On the flip side of that, though, if we're sitting there saying he's only going to bring in a certain caliber of player, we've seen this before, by the way. What if said caliber of player isn't available, or that player goes to a different club? Does that mean we sit back and do nothing, or do you reckon we go for a different option who might not be on the same level as that player?
That one's a tough one because I know what we're like as a club, and I know that we make sure that we're not the little side man, you know. You needed to want to come to us. We ain't getting in no fight for you and all that kind of stuff. So I reckon we'll have 2 or 3 targets that will be big, and we'll get minimum 1 of them. So let's just say, for example, and I don't think we'll go for these players because these are too expensive, but let's just say Liverpool wanted Kirkes, Belieber, Isak, Hakimi. Let's just say in a random world that was the 4 players. All spectacular players, all very good, extremely well known, boost us up straight away. We miss out on Isak. Damn. We make sure we get Belieber and Hakimi though. And then the Isak one goes from Isak to Osherman. Still good. Not the one we wanted, still good. That kind of is the thinking that I am going down. I don't think it'll be, we didn't get Isak, so we don't do anything. Not this summer. Normally, we're a little bit like that. Not this year. We have to retain the title. We have to win the Champions League. Not this year. Slot's got the thirst for hunger. He's got that hunger, that thirst for success now. He's going to be feeling the pressure to replicate what he did this year because he's not going to want to fall off. And he's going to want to make sure. And you know what I think we'll do this window as well? I think we'll watch face. So if Arsenal go big, if Chelsea go big, if Man United somehow get in the Champions League and they go big, if Man City go big, if we're watching other teams go big, I think this might be the first time when we go, we got to go big as well. We can't just hold back and just watch them go big. They're going big, we're going big. I think this might be the first summer we do that.
Firstly, shout out to Tom Little in the chat who once again has decided to slap me virtually across the face. I think Andre's got a good point here. Slot doesn't decide the budget though. So Slot may have that ambition, but does the club match what Slot's ambition is?
No, that's true. That's true. But I do believe that winning this trophy, I think, will give everybody that feeling. You know, before we used to feel like winning would make us think we've done enough. Now I think the way the Premier League is and all the heartbreak we've had over this last decade even, I kind of think that now we might be turning the screw a little bit, and now it might be a bit like, no, we want to maintain this actually. It ain't about, yeah, all right, we did well this year, forget it. It will now be about, actually, let's go again. And again, I'm just going off of how I'm feeling, watching people's body language, trying to use some common sense, trying to use some intelligence. Nothing I'm saying is factual. I'm just getting that same type of feeling I got when I thought when I knew actually we were going to win the league. I'm just getting a little bit of that similar Spidey sense, you know.
All right. One of the quotes from Lewis Steele is that he believes we'll get a left back, a centre back, and a forward, potential midfielder. If that was all we signed in the summer, if we signed those three players or three players to fill those positions, how do you feel about the window?
I think we'll go win the league again. The midfield isn't as big enough of a problem for me to be worried if the other slots are filled. So if we bring in a proper centre back, if we bring in a bad boy left back, and if we go and get an Isak or an Osherman up front, I don't think the midfield is a big enough problem to be a problem. I'm asking for perfection for the midfield to be added on top of that. That's me thinking about plugging every single hole possible all at the same time. Pause. So only one of them, because let's be real, bro. Every team in the league is going to have 3 or 4 positions in the squad that they've got to do well with, right? And nobody's going to do them all. Arsenal were losing Partey and Jorginho. They already need a striker. Do you get what I mean? Man City, they need a hell of surgery. Chelsea need a defender. Chelsea need a striker. Chelsea need a goalkeeper. All the clubs that could potentially beat us next year have 3 or 4 positions in their team that from this summer will need to be addressed and they'll need to go and buy. Nobody's going to get all of them. None of us. Because it just never happens like that, does it? Let's be real.
I hear that, but you don't think midfield's a concern, Drift?
No. I think midfield can be upgraded on. I think midfield should be upgraded on, but I don't think it's a concern. I don't look at our team and think, damn, midfield is the problem. And then you can get that in January, maybe. If things look like they're going a little wrong or...
So name me the 3 players then. If you was a left back, who would you go for?
Have you heard the rumors today? Am I going to be shitting on your... is there any player in particular that you had written down to talk about?
Wharton's the only one that I've seen us linked with today.
Okay, because today on Hassam's show, big up Hassam, I was on there earlier. A couple people were telling me during that stream that we've been heavily linked to Aït-Nouri. Now, defensively, I know we would have a little bit of a concern, but with Trent going, if we can just flip it, and then our left is attacking now, and our right is...
We'll speak about Trent later.
Yeah, but you get what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, so say, for example, we do the lock-up right back and the expressive left back, which is just a flip of what we've had when we've had a lockdown right back and a left back and an expressive right back. We're just flipping the team. You know what I mean? We're just literally flipping the team.
But you said you don't really want fullbacks to be like that now, though.
No, I don't. But if that's the plan, then I'm not going to doubt the plan either. Because clearly, if we buy Aït-Nouri, there's some kind of plan. Do you get what I mean? Like, there's no way we're buying Aït-Nouri to be traditional. We're buying him for some form of plan. And I will never doubt Slot's plans. I would just be like, okay, this is the direction we're going in. Ideally, yeah, I don't want my fullbacks going past the halfway line anymore. But I'm not going to tell him he's got a false plan if that's what he wants to do. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. You know what I mean?
Okay, so would you prefer Aït-Nouri or Kerkez?
I'd probably go for Kerkez because I want the more traditional fullback. But Aït-Nouri is definitely the better player. So, do you know what I mean? Like, if it's to invert him into the midfield or to... Because when we were talking during the show as well, we realised between him, Gravenberch and Gakpo or Diaz, whichever one's playing left wing, the triangles that they could play and how good our left side could be from an attacking point of view if we brought in Nori could rip some teams a new one. Like Nori, Gravenberch and Diaz or Gakpo just doing them triangles and overlapping and all that stuff. It could be a madness, bro. It really could.
You know how much I rate Nori as a player. My worry is if this was a slot team where we relied on fullbacks for creativity, then I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. I don't think we do that in a slot team though, and I think it would make our defense significant. Like if Trent stays and it's Trent and Nori as the fullbacks, we have to get a demon defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like there's not like I'm talking about. This guy's got to be the next Kante because the amount of ground that player is going to have to cover for Trent and Nori is going to be insane.
No, I agree with that.
And I feel it would make us defensively weaker by getting Nori if Trent does stay. I really do.
I agree with that.
All right, who would your centre back be? Because I don't know if we get Howson, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. With all the Real Madrid rumours and all that kind of stuff going on.
Chelsea as well.
Actually, I mean, shout out everyone who watched the morning show with me today. We are getting that heavier and heavier and heavier linked with Guehi. Like, this ain't going away anymore. 52 million euros is what the price is going to be for him this summer. It's not going away, bro.
How much?
52 million euros. So I think that's something like 45 million pounds, somewhere around there. Which I'm not going to lie, is good business. Like, Guehi's definitely worth that much.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. So, Guehi's like, what is he, 5'11", 6 foot? Like, that.
I think he's 5'11", yeah.
Like, when I mention Hatto, people are like, he's too short. Hatto is actually taller than him. So, that's for a start. But also, is Guehi going to want to come to Liverpool in a year where he's got to try and get into a World Cup squad and be a starter? As well as knowing he's got Martin Virgil to contend with.
Sometimes I think those things are credible things to think about. And then sometimes I think, no, not really. So I think, yes, because you want to play, you got the World Cup coming up, all of that perfectly makes sense. But on the flip side, I think, yeah, but if you play for Crystal Palace, with all due respect, you are never turning down the opportunity to go Liverpool, even if you're going to be on the bench. No chance, because you want that quality. You want, like, he's 27 now. You want that part of your career that is seen at the peak. Yeah, I'm sure. He's 27.
He's about 24, bro.
Are you sure? Hold on.
Yeah, Gay's 24.
Oh shit, where did I see he was 27? Oh shit, he's way younger than I thought he was then. I saw he was like 27. If he's 24, that's even more of a FSG type signing then.
Yeah, but is it a signing that it's very difficult to convince a centre back? Because let's be real, none of us think Guehi's as good as
Ibu.
Yeah, we don't, and he's obviously not. He's not. Yeah. So if we're sitting there going, he's not as good as Ibu. He's not going to start ahead of Ibu in our opinions. And for me, he's not enough of a needle mover to go, you still bring him in anyway. What's the incentive? What's the incentive for him to come to Liverpool knowing that he's going to be third choice and it's a World Cup year?
I don't necessarily think all players care about that though, Cal. I think they think about the opportunity and then they bet on themselves that they'll be able to force their way in.
Maybe.
Do you get what I mean? Like, but with all due respect to Crystal Palace, if you were 25, because you'll be 25 by the time the season starts. If you're 25 and you've been at Crystal Palace for the last few years and you show who you are, but with all due respect, you're at Crystal Palace. If a Chelsea or a Liverpool or an Arsenal comes in for you, you're not going to turn them down, bro. Even if you're on the bench.
You're talking to me, a Liverpool fan. I can't even get past the fact that
even if Chelsea or Arsenal or Man City or Man United or one of them came for you and you play for Crystal Palace, you would go. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're at Crystal Palace. Like,
no, but you mentioned Man United you'd probably start for. Chelsea would
No,
probably
I
start.
mean, even if you wouldn't, even if it was a team where there was already two main players and you'd be third choice.
But that's the problem, though. If you're going to Liverpool or Arsenal as a centre back, especially if you're Gahey, again, I don't think any of us believe that Gahey's better than Saliba or Gabriel either.
No.
Like he has to think about like how am I going to be sitting on the bench for sustained periods? And again, Slot showed this season his rotation like ain't rotating really. So again, is he going to look at that and go, what if I end up in a situation a bit like a Harvey Elliott or an Endo where am I just going to be brought on to close out games? If you look at Kwanzaa and Gomez before Gomez got injured, wasn't playing that many minutes. Is that centre back situation going to be the hardest or one of the hardest positions to sort out this summer, in your opinion? Because I think
probably, if you're looking at it from that point of view, because then that means that Højlund will think the same thing.
No, I agree. That's why I reckon Chelsea are probably the favourites at the moment for him. Plus, they've also started working on the deal if rumours are to be believed. So it's like my thing is, if you're buying a left back, I think that left back kind of knows deep down I'm being brought in to be a starter. If you buy a striker, that striker knows deep down they're coming in to be a starting striker. Even if you buy a DM, there's an argument to say the DM could sit there and go, yeah, I think I'm going to start a lot of games here. But if you're a centre-back, unless you're a Bastoni or someone of that ilk, are you going to sit there and go, yeah, even though I back myself, I want to make sure I go to the World Cup off the back of a good season where I play plenty of football and get into some rhythm and form. Am I going to want to go to that club and potentially sit on the bench for a sustained period?
Yeah. I mean, I just think we're thinking the worst, which is what fans naturally do. But yeah, I think they better themselves when they go. I mean, I know Liverpool aren't quite on Real Madrid's level, even though we're not far behind in terms of like our stature in world football and stuff like that. But Real Madrid sign players and the players know that they probably won't play, but they just want to play for Real Madrid. And again, I know Real Madrid are a bit of a step up from Liverpool in that regard, but Liverpool is still right at the top of that mountain around the world, same way. And I don't think a player thinks, nah, I don't want to play Virgil, don't want to play with Salah, don't want to play with Alisson, don't want to play for the champions just because they'll be third choice and might not get no game time, bro. I think they'll do what Jota did. They'll just believe in themselves, they'll come in and they'll play their way into the team. Do you know what I mean?
Does LFCJ have a point? Slot bench Konate first game of the season. If Slot has the option, he'd rotate Konate. Do you reckon that's the case, or do you reckon Konate's won him over?
No, Konate's definitely won him over, but yeah, maybe he would if he brings in a guy who he does believe can be as good as him. Then he would rotate, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you might. It would be a good idea to rotate to keep Ibu as fit as possible as well, because that's another thing that the player coming in will think to himself slightly. You know what? They do have a little bit of an injury thing with Ibu. If he gets an injury and then I come in and I prove myself, then I don't get dropped, and then that's me, and I'm in the team now.
How big do you think the drop off would be from Konate to Gahey? So, say for example, say to you, what do you rate Konate out of 10 as a centre back? What would you give him as a number?
9.
So what would you give Gahey then?
7.
Are you happy with that drop off, or would you want someone a bit better than Gahey?
I don't think you can ask for your third choice centre back to be higher than a 7 realistically. In an ideal world, of course we all would, but I think if you're being realistic, I think a 7 out of 10 third choice centre back is a brilliant option. That's what Joey was. Joey was a 7 out of 10. If it wasn't for the injuries, Joey was the perfect third choice centre back, ability wise. So yeah, I'd be all right with that. I put Højlund on the same level. I'll probably say Højlund's a 7. I'm not gonna lie. This stage of their careers, Højlund's not better than Gahey. I know it seems more glamorous and he's younger and there's more potential and all that, but this stage of their career, he's not better than Gahey. I think people are getting a bit carried away when they say stuff like that. It's Højlund's first year in the big league. Gahey's been doing it for a little while now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
with Højlund, though, you'd arguably say he has a higher ceiling.
Possibly, but until he reaches that ceiling, you want the performances to be like we want to defend the title next year. Do you know what I mean? Not with the guy who's potentially going to be good in 3 years' time. Do you know what I mean? You want a guy who's ready now. 25, he's at the perfect defender age to be maturing into the defender you want him to be, Gahey. So Yeah, I have no issue with either one of those two, but I think it's a bit crazy when people think Hoyson's better than Gahey already. Potential, I get it, but not right now. Not right now.
I hear that. Could you not argue though? Hyson's playing in a team probably with more of a similar playing style and philosophy to Liverpool as opposed to Gahey. Because Palace do sit quite deep, and I think that's where Gahey shines because he's not having to really chase back towards his own goal. He does sweep up really well as well. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of games he plays in the back three as well. Even though he's the central defender usually of the back three. Is there not an argument to say that even though Gahey might be the better player now, would he be better for Liverpool's system than Hoyson?
I don't necessarily think Hoyson will be better for a Liverpool system based on how many times you get ran at in our defense, and he's slower and less agile than Gahey. So from that point of view, I don't necessarily know. I get what you mean that Gahey doesn't get exposed at Crystal Palace, and would it be? But do you know what I'll say to that, bro? I'll say I'll have faith he would be able to do what Lewis Dunk did at Brighton, where a more expansive style of football. He fit in. A lot of people, we've had conversations about Dunk on this channel where it was like, nah, but at Liverpool, I just think he'd get exposed. Brighton started to play expansive. He got on the ball and started to Pirlo from the back, and we were like, oh shit. And then he never really got exposed one-on-one, even from playing higher up. And you're like, oh shit. And Lewis Dunk proved that he could do it. He's getting on a bit now, obviously, but like, you know what I mean, generally speaking, he's kind of been all right. So I'd have the faith that Gahey could do the same. He's athletic enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got pace, he's got strength. So yeah, I'm not like, we're only talking about Gahey because of how strong we're linked with him, not because I think anybody here actually wants Gahey. But I don't have an issue with Gahey. Gahey's not a bad player at all, and I'm not ever going to be annoyed if that was who Liverpool bought.
Finally, for striker, who would you go for? In fact, midfielder, who would you go for in midfield?
I mean, you know, I'm a believer.
No, but say for example it was Ait Nouri who came in, would you still want Belieber?
Oh, I think Belieber would be even more important if Nouri came in, because Belieber would do a lot of that, seeing the danger that we're talking about if Nouri's pushed up. You know what I mean? He would do a lot of that dirty work. So yeah, 100%.
Could you not argue the same thing you just said with regards to Hoyson, though, that even though they are both brilliant players, they are still quite young, still quite wet around the ears. If we want to defend the league next season, wouldn't it be potentially better to go and get someone a bit more experienced? After all, Belieber hasn't played in Europe as far as I know. This is his first season at no. Is it first or second?
No, he would have been in Europe last year, but he wasn't a starter last year, was he?
Yeah. So like, is even a Wharton, you know how much I rate Wharton, for example. Even a Wharton, I think to myself, is that a bit of a risk as well? Because for me, we need a starting level DM, as someone who can literally walk in the door and go, look, Grav Mac, we're gonna have to rotate.
Oh, I think Belieber is that. I genuinely do. I think Belieber is that. But horses for courses, bro. Depends what game we're playing.
No, precisely. But again, with Belieber, for me, it's the inexperience, and I also think sometimes he can be very rash, but that comes with age and experience. I expect him to be rash at this age, but at Liverpool, the margins for error are so fine. Do we need someone a bit more experienced than a Belieber?
No, because Wharton is very similar to Belieber, and he's
that's why I've even said about Wharton as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I know he's 25 now, but how experienced would you say Tchouaméni is? Because he's just in and out the team. It's not like he's cemented his place in that team and played week in, week out.
That's a World Cup finalist we're talking about.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean to say that. I mean, I know he's more experienced than those guys, but he's not like someone you'd be like, yeah, like you can put your house on him. I still think he's a little inexperienced in the way he acts in some of his performances within himself.
Tchouaméni.
Yeah, but I'm sure Manny ain't the great guy you lot all think he is, you know. He has a lot of dodgy games.
But so does Belieber and Wharton, bro.
No, I mean, no, well, not this season, I don't think. But remember, he's older, so I'm giving you an example of that. We're going to go for the experience thing. It doesn't always mean that you'll be, because he's what, 25, right? Tchouaméni. So and he's more experienced. He's a lot older, but I still think he makes some very similar mistakes that them lot do. So. I mean, I know he's been playing in defense a lot, so maybe he's got a bit out of the rhythm of playing in midfield. I get that as well. But Yeah, I'm sure many makes just as many blunders as Belieber does.
But what you
And
base this off, though?
when
You
I
remember,
watch him,
but he also
like,
played
I
centre
watch
back as well.
many, bro. When I watch Real Madrid, and
But he also plays centre back. Beliebers, I think, only played centre back once this season.
yeah. No, I'm talking about when he plays in midfield, because obviously you can't compare when he's in defense. I'm just saying I don't think Tchouaméni's this like vastly experienced, doesn't make mistakes anymore, all conquering midfielder. I don't.
So you don't think? So, but I'm not. All right. Straight question: is Tchouaméni better than Belieber right now?
I'll answer it by saying I would prefer Belieber if you gave me the choice. No money, no money's
Forget
no
about who you
object.
prefer, though. Who's better in your opinion?
Well,
Because
maybe
even though you might
Tchouaméni
prefer,
might be. Maybe Tchouaméni might be a little bit ahead of him at the moment. Yeah, but again, he's like 5 years older than him. So that's to be expected, right? But I don't think there's a big enough gap between them for it to be an issue. And then obviously you've got all of that extra potential from Belieber. So yeah, I just and again, sure Many's a good player, no doubt. Bro, I definitely think people get a bit carried away with Shermany. I do. I think like there was a lot of hype behind him, and he was like that flavor of the month that year, and he did go Real Madrid and stuff. Like Shermany ain't the player everybody thinks he is, or that whole like hype made him out to be. He's not that, and I would prefer Belieber.
Belieber or Camavinga?
That's a tough one because Camavinga's a baller. I'd probably say Belieber's a bit more switched on defensively. Camavinga's an excellent box-to-box defender who's a midfielder, so who can defend, whereas I think Belieber is a defensive midfielder who's good on the ball.
I don't think. See, that's the difference. I don't think Belieber's a defensive midfielder. I don't think he's a DM. I think he's a box-to-box midfielder in the purest sense.
But whenever I watch him,
you see if we're playing Klopp system still with the 4-3-3 with the single pivot and the 2 8s. Belieber is the left of the left 8 all day long, bro.
No, he could also play the 6 though.
No, I think he can play the 6, but he's not a DM. Whereas Kama is not necessarily a DM, but I think he's way more switched on defensively than Belieber.
So I agree that Belieber is to a degree a box to box, but he's a box to box that thinks more defensively. I think Camavinga's a box to box.
If I'm not mistaken, Camavinga's defensive numbers are very good. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, again, it is quite skewed playing La Liga to Premier League, but I don't know. But
also, even in Champions League, like we've seen Camavinga in the Champions League, like he's been.
But that's what I'm saying. I think Camavinga's actual best attribute is to drive with the ball and take people on and get Madrid up the pitch. It's not to sit and defend and think more defensively.
Nice intercepting, his tackling is very good as well, and he can break press with his dribbling and driving ability as well. But Belieber can do that. I've seen Belieber do that.
Belieber's press resistant like a mother. Like he's, you know what I mean? He's brilliant with his back to goal. And again, I'm not like I said, Camavinga is a bad boy. So I don't know Camavinga or Belieber. That one does make me a little bit, I'm not sure what answer I'd give you. I might still go for Belieber.
Because Real Madrid, the rumors are that Real Madrid want to get rid of both Camavinga and Tchouaméni. We hear stuff like this come out of Real Madrid camp all the time. Let's say Camavinga costs 60 mil or Belieber would cost you 90 mil.
Camavinga will be more than that, bro.
I don't know. Real Madrid
I think Camavinga will be about 70 to 80 as well. Real
Madrid don't often sell that high, though.
Oh, they got 60 mil for Casemiro.
Yeah, but let's be real, though. At the time, Casemiro was seen as one of the top 3 best defensive midfielders in the world.
Well, Madrid knew he was finished. That's why they sold him. But
no, obviously. But he still was. Let's be real. If we're going to do
he was 30, though, with 1 year left on his contract.
But bro, everyone still said he was the guy. Like, I know it's easy to look at it now and go, yeah, he's been crap at Man United. But when they signed him, everyone in the league was like, bloody hell, they've just gone Casemiro. Like, we all said it. Like,
no, but we all did laugh. Even when they first got him, we did laugh at the 60 mil with 1 year left and he's 30. No, everyone was like, bloody hell, you've been ripped off there.
Yeah, we thought that, but all right, let's say it was 70 mil for Camavinga. Because again, even Belieber, I don't think he'll go for less than 90, bro. Even more, maybe.
I agree.
So again, all right. So let's say Camera goes up to 70 and Belabor goes
Yeah.
up to 100. What are you saying?
And I'd go Camera for 70 over Believer for 100. Yeah.
All right, Wharton.
Believer's not worth 100. That would be insane.
So we've just gone back and forth about what we think the two types of midfielders are, whether box to box or DMs. Wharton is a DM. That kid's a DM, and he plays the role brilliantly.
And I think he'll be more expensive than Camavinga as well.
I don't actually know how long he's got left on his contract. Let me actually have a look.
From what I was reading this morning, his market value is 45 million. But Crystal Palace said they're not selling for anything less than double what his market value is. So that's 80, bro.
Eesh. Contract is set to expire in 2029. Yeah.
80 mil. You have to pay 80 mil to get Wharton, bro.
I think it might be more. English as well.
So it'll be Camavinga again, because Camavinga will be the cheaper one, which is crazy to actually say out loud that Camavinga would be cheaper than Wharton. But we know the way the Premier League works, he would be. He would actually be cheaper than Wharton.
So if it was up to you, though, so let's say it was Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Wharton, and Belabor on the table.
And you taking Belabor.
You would, yeah?
Yeah. All my stocks invested in Belabor. That guy's the truth. I feel the same way about Belabor that I felt about Caicedo and McAllister. And
Fair.
look what they've gone on to do. So yeah, 100% Belabor.
First.
But I ain't got no issue with any of those players.
No, I'm not mad at the Belabor. I have my doubts only because I've not seen him in Europe. I've not seen him at a higher level and all that. But from what I see of him, the guy's quality. The guy's absolute quality.
He's mature beyond his years, man. To be 20 and be balling out like that is crazy. Do you know what I mean? So
I hear it. And then striker. What are you saying for striker?
I mean, the obvious one is Isak, without a shadow of a doubt.
We also know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. After Isak, you're gonna find this funny. I'm gonna say this because of all the arguments we used to have before. But outside of Isak, my number one pick in terms of like favorite would still be Pedro. I love that kid, and I think if he goes to a better club, you just see the absolute best of him, and you'll be within 6 months. You'll be realizing why I've said it will be like re-signing Bobby because of the creativity and the link up and all that. Like Pedro he's brilliant, but we're talking about an out and out striker, so we're not talking about the playmaker false nine. We are going for like an out and out striker. I'd actually prefer Osimhen over everyone else who's available. You know,
that's crazy.
Because if we're going for an out and out 9. Then I want the guy who looks more likely that he will put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't trust Gyökeres in the Premier League. I don't trust Sesko in the Premier League. Cunha's not an out-and-out striker. So that's why I would probably actually prefer Osimhen.
Liam?
Nah, 2 wet roundy years. Like that. And I could regret that. In 2 years, he could be the new Harry Kane. And I'm like, what an idiot. I should have said, yeah, let's go for him. But yeah, he's a bit wet round the years as well, isn't it? So, nah. Perfect age. 26 coming up, 27, Osimhen. Perfect age. About to go into his prime. Just coming off the back of a 20-plus season as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Boom. And apparently he's 60 mil.
Yeah, but his salary is crazy. Also, there's rumors that he's wanted in Saudi, and he would be happy to go there with the money.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think his most likely destination is going to be Saudi or Chelsea. That's what I think. But
let's say, for example, we did sign 2 strikers. Would you be happy if your second striker was Mateta?
Bro, I saw a couple of people in the chat mention Mateta. Bro, Mateta, is an absolute nuisance, bro. And I'm not even going to lie to you. If Liverpool signed Mateta and Osimhen, we would bully and claw up some serious people next season. Can you imagine Osimhen running everybody for 70 minutes? Then for the last 20, Mateta comes on and just starts pushing people about.
I remember I asked a question about Mateta and Nunes and got rushed badly.
No, but that was a year ago when you were trolling. Now we can have a totally different
I
conversation.
wasn't trolling. I asked the question and got rushed. You know that meme where
And obviously people
you know that meme where the guy's getting inducted into the gang and he's like, fight back. That was me, bro. I was getting rushed. I asked a question about Solanke.
But at that time, I don't even think you rated him. I think that was more about trolling Nunes than
I
you
wasn't
actually
even
rated
trolling
him.
Nunes. I asked the question.
Because remember, there was a lot of. I remember you asked about Solanke at the same time as well. There was a little bit of trolling going on.
It wasn't trolling. It never was trolling. I just wanted to ask the question.
And well, like you see Mateta a year down the line now, and he's done it for 2 seasons, and I've watched him closely. Mateta is an absolute handful. I mean this with the greatest of respect, because I know when I say B-Tech, you lot always think that I'm like taking the piss, but I don't mean it. I just mean you're like that person, but like a lesser version. Mateta does actually look like a B-Tech Drogba. He's just got that presence, the height, the strength. Like, he's a problem. I really hope Chelsea don't get him, because those are what the rumors are. It's Osimhen and Mateta that Chelsea are chasing, and he's so perfectly suited, Cal, to playing and facilitating the wingers as well. No, they won't get both. But what I'm saying is, if they get Mateta, who's already like Prem ready, I can just see his profile of player fitting them so perfectly. I really hope Chelsea don't get Mateta. I'm not gonna lie, because he improves them massively. So yeah, I hope Chelsea don't get him.
Matt, welcome to the show, bro.
Big up, man.
Big up, G.
All right. Obviously, we've spoken today. Big budgets, apparently. I've asked Drifty the question. I'll ask you the same question. Left back, centre back, and a forward is what Lewis still believes will sign. Doesn't know if we'll sign a centre midfielder, though. If we sign a left back, who would your choice of left back be? I think we know the answer, but just let the people know.
Yeah, Kirkes.
It's Kirkes over everyone for you.
Kirkes, if not Kirkes, Hatter.
Okay. Have you heard who we linked with today, though?
No.
Nori, apparently.
Cool.
So you're still against that, yeah?
Nori's not a left back. He's a wing back. Like, in my opinion, he's more. You see how we see Trent right now at right back? That we'll get fed up at Nori at left back from a defensive point of view. Attacking wise will be very good. But defensive wise, I worry that he will be up to par. I don't think he's as good as Hato defensively. I don't think he's better than Kirkes defensively. I don't even think he's better than Tsimikas defensively. I really don't. Like, he suits. Do you know what? I'll say this. I can't believe I'm even saying this. He suits a Man United system right now where they got the forward midfield and they can do the wing back thing. He suits that style of play. He don't suit us.
But don't you think there'd be a plan in place that Slot would have if we sign him? Because he's not going to sign him willy-nilly. There would be some kind of plan that we'd have to just trust that Slot would know what he's doing, right?
Right. Yes, but from what I can see, it will be Bradley is supposed to be the starter for next season, right? But obviously we might have to get a right back to help Bradley because Bradley with the injuries. Bradley's attacking as well. Bradley's better going forward than defensively. So you got 2 very, very attacking fullbacks then, which is good offensively, but defensively, bro. Remember, even in the Klopp regime, Robertson was the master. He was shut down man at left back, and going forward, he'll be a problem because his crossing ability in his peak was a problem.
But that's what Bradley is, though, in my opinion. I think he's a baby version of Robbo. I think he's good at doing both.
So I see Robbo was clear defensively, clear. Like in Robbo's prime. But Robbo, one of the best left backs prem history.
Yeah. But that was Robbo a few years down the remember, what's Bradley 21, 22? That was like 24-year-old Robbo. So I think
we've done Robbo at 23, bro.
Was he that young when we signed
23
him?
I don't remember, but what I'm saying is,
when we signed
what I'm saying is, as good as Bradley is defensively, I still think Bradley's not exceptional. Now you're going to get Nori, who's even worse than Bradley defensively. I think it'll be
I
a
get the
problem.
concerns about 8-0 from a defensive point of view. So
Mm.
I'm with you. But I do think, like I was saying to Cal before, bro, I do think from an offensive point of view, doing like the fantasy of it, bro, Gravenberch, Nori, and Diaz or Gakpo on that left side creating triangles, bro, we would
Yeah.
terrorize
No. The
teams from an
build up
attacking
play.
point of
All
view.
right. So you see, like when I say phase 1 build up, yeah, goalkeeper's got the ball, plays it to Virgil. Nori can do the whole. He can go wide. He can kind of invert as well. He can get involved in midfield. Nori can do all of that. That's not the problem. The problem is, say we get caught in the transition. Nori's positioning can be a little bit suspect, or say we're under the
That's
cross.
exactly what I said.
Say we're under the cosh and his back's against the wall against a certain team. I don't know who it is, but let's just say we're under the cosh a bit like PSG. See the PSG game? You don't want Nori at left back. He getting cook up.
But saying that though,
yeah,
what would be good about Nori in that scenario though, bro, is that his line breaking passing and his line breaking dribbling can take pressure off, and he can actually get us up the pitch the way Robbo can't. So you see, like when we, do you get what I mean? So even though you'd be a bit worried about like Dembele versus Nori 1-on-1, you'd be like, oh shit, we're in trouble.
Nori getting cooked. He getting cooked.
Yeah, but if like he gets past Nori and then like Van Dijk gets a tackle and then Van Dijk knocks it back to Nori and then Nori's got it a left back there and we've got the ball back, the way we can transition up the field with Nori can be good from a defensive point of view because you're relieving that pressure out of defense. You know what I mean? Because the way he's dribbling and his line breaking passing is, but like he's actually a midfielder.
Because he's very good on the ball. Remember, everything you're saying, I agree with you. It's just a defensive part. So say like it's an away day. We go away to, I don't even know. All right, let's just say we go away to Bournemouth. Just give an example. Who plays on Bournemouth's right hand side? Let's just say he's up against, for example, say Semenyo's still there.
Semenyo, yeah.
Bruv, Nori getting cooked. Barbecue chicken.
You know what?
Do
you know what? Should we? Because Nori's actually been linked with us. Should I just quickly have a look at what his actual stats are from a defensive point of view?
I'm running it now.
Yeah.
Great man.
I'm telling you,
because I'm actually thinking
Nando wings, wings, Nori's getting
because I don't watch Wolves week in week out. I'm actually curious, as you said, like when they play Bournemouth and he is up against the Semenyo. I'm actually curious to what his actual stats are defensively in those, because I only watch Wolves against the big teams. So I am quite curious when they're playing a Newcastle or they're playing a Bournemouth or Brentford, like how well does he play in those games?
Yeah. Maybe even compare him. You know what? Compare him to Tsimikas and Robbo, and maybe Kerkez and Hatta. That's if you can. It's quite a few players. See if you can do
I'll go Robertson because Tsimikas hasn't played as many minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll show you the comparison now. I'll share this now.
Also, that the stats can be misleading though, because Robbo hasn't had a good season. So maybe use Robbo and then use another left back like a Kerkez, who I would say is better, but maybe the stats are saying he's not better.
All right, so I've run in the comparison Hato, Nori, Kerkez, Teo Hernandez, Nuno Mendes, and Andy Robertson, because Teo Hernandez is the wrong season. Because they're seen as, why hasn't he got his?
Right,
okay, we'll be Tsimikas then. No Simi.
Right, man's not in the database. Right. Man said he was asleep when they was running the database.
Oh, that's awkward.
That's a bit mad.
They made Tsimikas a build face, you know.
Wow. Okay, won't be using Tsimikas.
He didn't make it to the meeting. He was asleep, bro.
All right, so in terms of duel, so crossing, it's Nuno Mendes. Hato, no, Nori's got more. Robertson, obviously, we know he does spam crosses. I'm surprised Kerkez and Hato are so similar. I thought Kerkez would have been a lot more.
Yeah, same. Because Kerkez crosses do look good, though. Can't even lie. The crossing good, but
he might not do them as regularly, though.
No, I might just remove Robbo for now and just do these three, because these are the three who've actually been linked with, innit?
Yeah.
So, Hato in the blue, Nori in the sort of pinkish reddish, and green for Kerkez. All right, so if you're looking at aerial Hatos just destroys these guys.
He's clear of the other two. He's clear. Who's in the green?
In terms of duels, though,
Kerkez is green.
Okay.
In terms of duels, again, Hato.
Kerkez's duels are terrible.
They are shocking.
That's terrible.
But you know,
straight away, we would have definitely guessed Kirkez's duels are higher than.
But this is
Nori's.
what I'm saying about stats, though, because you know, I'm so mad. I see the games. I see Kirkez in 1-on-1 duels, and he's tough to get past. He's not like it's mad though.
But
But
to say, it depends how many people are trying to go at him.
Mm.
Defensive actions. Hato's doing the least amount of defensive actions. Then it's Kirkez, then Nori. But then again, Ajax, they dominate in Eredivisie. Bournemouth are quite a front-footed team, and Wolves have been pretty poor all season.
So defensive actions, like you said, if you're under pressure more, you're going to do more defensive actions, isn't it?
Precisely. Progressive passing is Kirkez, then it's Hato, and then it's Nori. It surprised me Nori so low there, but then again,
I'm just as confused there as I am with the Jules one.
But
So
Yeah,
those
it don't
two
make
for
sense,
me,
innit?
those two should be the other way around. I'm so confused. What's going on?
But then
with
no,
those.
because you got to think progressive passes. If you've got to have a passing, then you got to have someone to pass to, or else you're not going to make that pass as well. Sometimes.
I hear you, but Nori is very good at relieving pressure from the defense with line splitting passes. Like when I watch Wolves, he's so good. He'll carry the ball for 10, 15 yards, then he'll pop a brilliant pass through. Do you know what I mean? So like,
True.
I'm really shocked that his progressive passing is low on this chart. Like it's confusing.
Expected assists, Nori's got the highest there. Kirkez and Hato are pretty much identical.
I would have thought that. I would have thought that.
Crossing again, Nori's by far, but there is their drift. Ball carrying.
That's why I expected him to be at the top, but next to
And
Kirkez.
look how close Kirkez is, but look how far behind Hato.
See, I'm not even taking that as a negative for Hato.
No, me neither. Because I want to lock up right. I want to lock up right back.
Left back. Yeah, he's not an auxiliary left back. He's a defensive left back. So I'm not expecting him to carry the ball.
Do you know what, Cal? Let's actually just bring Robbo back for a second so we can actually think about yeah, because I just want to know how big of a fall off it will be from this version of Robinson.
So Robbo's in the. Why have they done Robbo in blue as well?
That's a bit. So, but we can see.
Yeah, we can tell that it's like a lighter blue.
No, I don't trust this. It's saying, look at the stats for crossing. I watched the game.
No, guys, look, we can't just agendas have to get put to one side. I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah. There are still some of these selected thingies where Robbo's the best. We cuss him and people are fit, but there's still he's still kind of the best at he's got a best at assisting, best at crossing.
No,
he's not the best at assisting. Those are expected assists. He hasn't got any. He's got one, I think. Sorry.
No, well, but so that means people should be finishing it. He puts in good crosses. People should just be finishing it.
Not necessarily.
It doesn't work.
Remember when we watched that game a couple of weeks ago and the ball was beautiful and no one got in the end of it? He puts in at least one or two very good crosses a game. It's just no one gets on the end of it.
You see Robbo's defensive actions. You can look at it in two ways. He doesn't need to defend as much, but that is like literally nearly in the middle. Like he doesn't do anything.
The only two that are concerning for me on this is Jules and Ariel. Those two, like Robbo being low on those.
Defensive actions, bro. We get attacked a lot down the flanks.
I don't know. No, but I don't really ever think Robbo is as involved in the game as the right back is, though. Like I think we do defend a lot more down our right side than we do the left side. I mean, I don't think it should be as low as it is, but I'm not shocked at that. But the duels and the aerial, I'm a little shocked at. I mean, I know Robbo ain't great in the air, but to be the worst.
No, but the thing is, this season, teams have picked up on Robbo. I guarantee you, if you put Trent in there, you'll see contrasting numbers. Carl, just put Trent in there, just for argument's sake. I want to see.
I'm going to remove the other left backs then.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run one more after this.
Yeah.
This will be interesting. Trent versus Robbo.
I bet Trent's numbers are good. Watch this. I'll be shocked if they're not better in every aspect.
No, Trent's aerial duels is diabolical.
So his aerial duels are shocking.
That is absolutely
what's this? But watch this. Look at this. Look at this though. Expected assists, obviously I expected. Defensive actions. Jules, I told
you we get attacked down the right side more. Look how much more defensive actions Trent has.
No, but that's percentage in terms of how much you've won. If I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh no, isn't this just how many actions you've been involved in?
No.
How often you're involved.
Jules' percentages, I think it might be how many you've won, I believe.
Oh no, the duels might be how many you've won. Yeah, that might.
I'm
be
not
that.
gonna lie. See,
No,
Trent,
bro. How can Trent's aerial be in the middle, Matt?
man said,
It hasn't even moved from
what's
the
the thing in
middle,
darts where you get the but not but like
The
that's when
bullseye.
man does the 180. Like it's done. It's a wrap.
bro. Trent doesn't. It's not moved from the middle, bro.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That
That means
basically-
Trent didn't win one header all season.
No, he did. But what it is he's had too many negatives to make it a positive. So let's say that.
is
Let's say he
crazy.
won 3 aerial duels but lost 10.
No, that looks like that means that looks like he won 3 and lost 40, bro.
Yo, even that.
It hasn't moved from the middle.
Aerial duels is 0.5, bro.
That is diabolical.
This guy's not
Oh
even
my
jumping.
days.
He's not even jumping at this point.
Oh, Trent flipping no.
Do you know what else has surprised me more? Progressive carries.
No, that hasn't surprised me. We kind of know Trent don't do that. He
Yeah,
lets
I
his
would think
passing in
Robbo
that.
was better at carrying.
I guess
than
you know what it
Trent,
is.
you know?
Progressive carries is when you're carrying the ball. Trent just spraying the passing, isn't
But
it?
Yeah.
also, look
even
at
when Robbo's at his
crossing.
peak, he was.
But crossing says a lot. One is spamming and one is trying to actually pick players out. We accuse Trent of spamming. It's Robbo who's been spamming this season.
Trent does spam, but yeah, maybe Robbo
No, but
does.
Trent
more,
is
yeah.
way more accurate. You could like,
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
do
saying.
see- you
Robbo
watch
is
the
just
game.
hitting and hoping.
No,
a lot of the time.
and would it not also depend on from what place in the pitch they consider across?
Do you know?
Because a
Put
lot
Conor
of
Bradley in
Trent's
there. Put
passing
Bradley
will
in
be
there.
from inside his own half. That probably isn't considered a cross. Do you
Oh,
get what I mean?
They don't even
Bradley.
rate Bradley.
I
They don't
don't.
rate
I
him.
think it's because they probably haven't played enough games in the league. I'm gonna run Hakimi. So let's see what Hakimi and Nuno Mendes are saying. Yikes!
Good
Which
grief.
colour-
Who's that with
which
the aerial
colour's
duels who's nearly
Hakimi?
off the charts?
It's Nuno Mendes.
That's Mendes.
Absolute monster.
I'm not gonna lie, Mendes is an absolute G.
So is Hakimi.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
This is literally PSG fullbacks versus Liverpool fullbacks, and it's not looking good, bro.
It's looking very bad. I'm actually going to stop sharing the screen.
Although but we have to add a little context, as in PSG absolutely romped the French league, and it's obviously a little skewed.
We
in that
we
regard.
can't. We've romped the Premier League.
No, but the Premier League is a much higher standard. Cal.
But we've romped it though, Drift. We've dominated from day dot.
Yeah, we have. But like, I still think it's a lot easier for Mendes and Hakimi in the French league, regardless, than it is for Robbo and Trent in the Prem. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's why it weren't doing it. Who was I trying to? No, it should still.
What did you do?
No, because you can only search under the parameters. It's for fullbacks in it for that particular one. But even so, I tried to get Conor Bradley, and it still weren't showing Conor Bradley either.
Hey, do you know what? 12 Source has got a point. Let's throw Frimpong in there and see if we get surprised by the defensive actions and all.
I want to run some Belabor and Camavinga numbers first.
Frank Gravenberch.
You want to go back on this, yeah?
Yeah, Frank Gravenberch and McAllister, we're going to do that.
So, which colours? Sorry, Cal?
Belabor's blue, Camavinga's the other colour.
Mm.
I told you, Drift. I told you.
Yeah, but I'll be real. Camavinga's not playing no key passes though.
No, that's fine.
But
everything
else is calm.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised at that. No, I mean, carrying and forward passes don't surprise me at all. Defensive action surprises me.
This is what I'm saying. People sleep on Camavinga's defensive action.
Can you please put in Gravenberch? Please.
Matt always got to find a way to squeeze.
No, I just want to see what Grav is saying. I just want to see what Grav is saying. That's all.
Which one's Grav? Green.
That's what I like to see. My midfielder winning his duels. That's what I'm talking about.
Do you know what? I'm quite surprised that
key
he's top of the progressive. I'm quite surprised at that. Key passes.
No, because progressive passes, I understand it because Gravenberch don't pass like that. That's see, if you put McAllister in, McAllister should be really top of that. I'd be shocked if he's in.
I'd like to know the metric for a key. Would like to know what the metric.
Yeah, this is another thing though. You're right, though. I don't know what the parameters are for these statistics. So, do you get what I'm saying?
Mm.
I don't know. Could he quickly put in Maka? Quickly, McAllister.
Maybe Zubamendi should be added to this.
Who?
Zubamendi.
Let me
Who's
see
that?
Maka.
See, I'm surprised McAllister isn't higher than Camavinga for duels.
No.
Same.
No, McAllister wins a lot of duels.
McAllister wins a lot of duels. Yeah.
So does Camavinga.
Yeah, but you know what it is? If this is what's so crazy, Cal. This is where you got to be careful. McAllister's made more appearances than Camavinga.
Yeah,
So-
precisely. But this
so
is
that's how
percentages, though. It's still percentage.
I hear that. But there's more.
I'm
You're
not
more
gonna lie,
likely.
McAllister's progressive passes isn't as
But
high
that's
as I
not,
thought
no. But
it
this
would
is what
be.
I'm saying, Drift. If
I
you play
thought he would have been higher in progressive passes.
But this is what I'm trying to say. This is where you have to be careful with stats. I'm not trying to like do this, but if you've played a full season and someone else has played, say, 17 to 18 games, and they've been very good games, so you're not going to have as many bad games. You haven't played as many games potentially, especially playing for Real Madrid. It is going to skew it a little bit because I'm pretty sure, Carl. I don't think Camavinga's done a full season, but I could
No,
be
he
wrong
hasn't.
though. Yeah. Still impressive though. There's no denying that. Still very, very impressive.
Matt, what's your thoughts? Do you think Liverpool going to have a big budget this summer? And if so, what number are you thinking? Spare me a second, boys. Got to blow my nose.
Do you know what? Big pause. I'm ready to be hurt again and believe that we are going to have a big summer. I don't know why.
Matt, we're having a big summer, my bro.
I don't think when I say big summer, bigger than
300 M.
bigger than what we're used to. So I'm
300
gonna say about 300 mil potentially.
300 M.
I think
minimum 300 mil.
Yeah, I think the club know that even though we won the league, there's players that they're unsure of their futures, so they're gonna have to make sure that they get those replacements in. And not only that, even though Arne Slot has won the league and Liverpool won the league, we can't rest on our laurels. We can't do that again. And I do think with this regime / old new regime, old being Michael Edwards, but new being Richard Hughes, kind of similar to what we had before. I think business will be a bit more shrewd as well. Like I'm also expecting business to be done a little bit earlier as well. And I know people will say, well, what happened this year? We only got in 1.5 players, obviously Chiesa and then Mamadashvili for next year. But I don't think the club let that happen again personally. So I'm going to say Liverpool do have a big summer. I reckon between 250 and 300 potentially. And I think we get like, when I say big summer, a big summer for Liverpool is like 4 signings, believe it or not. But believe it or not, it's 4 signings. Our usual summer's about 2 or 3 max. Big summer's like 4 or 5. So maybe, just maybe about 4. Don't know if we get 5, but I think we should get 4 over the line.
Matt, let's say Lewis Steele suggestion, and all we get is a left back, centre back, and a forward. He didn't specify what position in the forward line. How would you feel about that summer? Forget about personnel, just those 3 positions have been filled. Pause.
I think they're good, but we could have done more. And it had me thinking, I know you want perfection, but I don't think it's perfection if you want a little bit more, because I do think we could get a centre midfielder in and even a wide player, because we're not too sure what's going on with Diaz's future. In an ideal world, you want 5, but really and truly, it should be 4 players. It should be 4. In fact, no, I forgot about the right back though. And again, I guess that depends on whether Trent is going or leaving, innit? Sorry, going or staying, sorry.
Let's talk about it. Trent obviously was pictured next to our owner, Mr. John W. Henry. Big up to the big man himself. And but can I not respect the owner who's delivered 2 Premier League trophies, no?
No, I never said that. I just
we got short term. We're not doing this again. Surely we're not going to do this again. And you know, Linda has put some eye emojis underneath a comment from a fan who highlighted the image of Trent speaking to John W. Henry. Have you seen the lip read? The supposed lip read from the conversation between Henry and Trent.
I
Nope.
have, yeah.
Go on.
Apparently, he told him he's making a mistake. Just sign the thing, innit?
So apparently, this was what was said between the two. John W. Henry opened the conversation by saying, "You've been quiet. How did you get on?" Trent apparently responded saying, "Being sensible." Henry then raised his hand and seemingly said, "I want you to do the right thing." Gangster. In blunt response, Trent says, yeah. In an act of reassurance, Henry replies saying, "The best way and don't panic." The defender said, "Should I decide?" Hicklin noted that Henry nodded slowly before saying, "Absolutely." He then turned to the fans and said, "Let them know."
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like such a fairy tale.
It does.
It really
It
does.
It
It
does.
really does. It does. I don't believe that for 1 second, bro.
Yeah, I don't believe that at all.
For 1 second, bro.
What
I'll say
what I
this.
will say though, yeah.
Mm.
You see, when it comes to like the owners, I just want to say something. And again, this ain't I'm back in FSG, but we want to always keep the same energy, right? And credit has to be given where credit has to be given, regardless of whether you like someone or not.
Gosh, I can't believe
If you actually look at the situation that Liverpool were in this summer, right? You look at the fact that Liverpool were in a situation where they were losing their manager, and not just any manager, a legacy manager. They were going into a season where we had contract issues. We're going into a season where not only did we have to replace the manager, we had to replace the man who had to find the replacement for that man, and we had to find a man to replace the man who has to find a replacement for that replacement. We did all of those well at the same time.
Tokyo-ish.
While all of them had to do their thing and learn to do their thing all at the same time.
Yeah.
And we've won the league. I can't lie to you guys. Whether you like them or not, the structure that was put in place and all the decisions that were made this season were fucking bang on.
Thank you very finally.
They were bang on. And regardless of whether or not people want to accept it, we have to give credit. We have to.
Matthew, your turn.
Am I lying though? Like we actually have to. You have to keep the same energy. We had to replace our CEO, our director of football, and our manager all in the same summer, and we won the league. Have you actually deeped how difficult that is?
Not for us, it ain't.
Like seriously.
All right, I'm gonna bring some rationale to this conversation.
Here we go.
Matt, that was rational. What did I say that wasn't?
Let me bring some.
What did I say that was irrational?
My biggest hater. Go on, Matt.
All right, let me say something.
LeBron's biggest fan, my biggest hater. Go on, say what you gotta say.
Man were ready to crash it on Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards after the transfer window. Man number saying they're whatless. Man number saying nothing ain't gonna change. Man number saying they can't do their job. Now the people are saying man they want to try and change tune.
But they've done their job because the players.
Wait there.
You have to give the credit once they do the positive.
Let me land. That's why you don't criticize too early though, because man them were crashing out mad early. Man them was saying, "Oh,
nah, bro." It was March and they hadn't signed deals. It wasn't too early. The crash out was valid.
Man them were crashing out after the summer. Let's keep it a buck. We were all crashing out after the summer. Are we going to sit there and lie?
But a lot of people were.
Are we going to sit there and lie and say the transfer window, everyone was happy? Is that what we're doing here? Should we get the chat to run the tapes for us?
No, but there's a difference between unhappy and crashing out. I didn't crash out. But you can go back and check the tapes. I did not crash out.
Chat.
I was unhappy, but I didn't crash out.
There were bare people that were crashing out saying we just got Mamadas Philly and Chiesa. What type of summer is this?
No, I know. I remember.
Am I lying? How come you gone silent, Carl? Why you gone silent?
Sometimes food is better at home, Matt. Sometimes food is better at home.
What I'm saying is this, yeah. You can give the club praise, yeah. You're 100%. No one's not saying that. No one's not saying don't praise them. We just won the league. But don't forget what man them was saying before. That's what I'm gonna say.
Look at the
Man,
bottom of the
change up
screen.
real quick,
Look at the bottom of the screen.
bro. Okay, I'm a hater then. I'm a hater. I'm just saying, don't forget what was being said. That's what I'm gonna say.
No, but that would be the same that we could use for Mateta as an
know what I
example,
mean?
where it was easy to criticize him when he looked like he wasn't good, but now he's proved he is. You have to change your tune.
Who, Mateta?
You can't always keep the same energy. Once they start to prove themselves to be better than what you
Yeah,
were
but I said
crashing
Mateta
out.
was better. I said Mateta was better from before though, and I was being genuine. Though.
No, his first season in the league, everyone thought he was rubbish. Everybody thought Mateta was rubbish.
I'm sorry, Cal. Did I believe that, or was I
In his
joking?
first 6 months, I think we were all like, "Oh, he's a little stiff."
Yeah,
And then
everybody in his first
Yes.
season thought he wasn't good.
And then
Everybody.
after the season, I said, you know what?
Yeah, his first full season, we were like, "Yeah, he's better than Darwin."
He's better.
No, I'm not even comparing him to anyone. I'm just saying he is so much better now than what people thought he was 2 years ago. You have to change your opinion. You can't be wrong and strong and just keep that same opinion. He's proved that he's better than what we thought he was.
You've changed your opinion. My opinion never changed on Mateta.
Nobody thought Mateta was this guy 2 years ago or even 12 months ago. No one did. I'm not letting anybody gaslight me into believing
gaslighting.
Mateta was this good 12 or 18 months ago.
What it is though, there's a difference between someone overrating someone and someone thinking, I think this is there. Because remember, that's the argument at that point, innit? It was more like, if you think someone is here and I think someone is there, that's what that was all about. Do you get what I'm saying? The Mateta thing, me personally, that's a bad example because kind of believe the Mateta.
No, I'm just, all right. You can just use anything then.
Do you know
Anybody.
I mean?
All right, let's use Arteta as an example. Arteta's now just come off the back of 3 title races and proven he's a way better manager than people thought he was in the first 2 or 3 years when everyone was like, and rightly so, he should be sacked.
Yeah.
But now you can't keep the same energy that you had then because he's clearly proved he's better. Do you get what I mean? So like you can't be wrong and strong. You have to change your opinion.
What I'm saying is I gave them credit for hiring Arnie Slot. I didn't know nothing about Arnie Slot. That's me being so real. To chat them know. I told them, I was like, I didn't know nothing about Arnie Slot. I wanted to pin Amorim and Alonso, so I can't sit here and cap. So they got the best appointment done. That great job. But you see the summer transfer window? We can't forget that. We won the league, but we can't forget that. We won the league because
sometimes hindsight can be applied to the logic. You got away with it, maybe, or you could say whatever the situation is, or you could also say it was the risk was worth it. But again, I said this on Hassam's show earlier on, guys. We crashed out on FSG when we won the Champions League, and all we bought was a 16-year-old Elliot and Adrian. And we won the league in record fashion. So sometimes you have to sit back in hindsight and go, they knew what they were doing. You can't always just go, but what if this and what if that? But that didn't. Their plan worked. We absolutely annihilated the league in 1920. And this year we crashed out because we thought it was a wrong idea. And we've annihilated the league in 24-25.
You said the plan worked, though. Was their plan to win the league those 2 seasons or just compete?
1920, 1,000% it was to win the league. This year, I think maybe Slot was the only one who thought, let's win the league. I think the board were thinking consolidate top 4 and we move. I think the players and Slot were like, no, we can win this. Do you know what I mean? That would be the difference in that.
Because I'll be real, like obviously the whole Slot
really
thing.
Really sorry to cut you, Matt.
Yeah.
What you said, I'm not going to be shameless for this section. What you've said is factual. Like a lot of us crashed out in the summer and weren't too happy and all that. Big up on Coras. I'll read that super chat in a minute. The love I'm getting, man, it feels good. It's deserved as well. But in regards to what you said, though, you also just said that you think we'll go big in the summer. So, do you actually think we will, or is it more hope?
No, I think we will.
It's more hope because history says we won't. It's more hope.
No, not hope for me. I think we will.
Fair enough. But again, if you're going off history and previous, that's not really a good way to look at it because you can only really base it off. Because again, what would give you the renewed optimism? Well, the renewed optimism would only be because you won the league, right? That's what's giving you hope. Because if we didn't win the league, would people have that same kind? Because remember, it's a happy thing now, and rightly so, innit?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be logical. My logic says if I go look at Liverpool over the years, we don't really do them type of things there. But do you want to know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm hoping that they can make a difference this time, because we've given them ample times where they go and do. They're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. They've only done it a few times. The midfield situation was kind of forced upon us. It got to that point where like we had no choice. The other big window we had was the Naby Keita, the Fabinho, the Alisson, and the Shaqiri one. That was our other big window. Other than that, we've had very like we've had decent windows. We've had good windows, but I wouldn't say we've had
I think the
windows.
2021 summer was a big
Yeah,
window.
because you're thinking about Thiago and but I said they're good. They were good. There's no doubt they were good.
We left
But
ourselves.
you know, there's
If
times
we
we
got
feel like we
about
could've done a
that
bit
summer,
more.
do you know that's an actual elite perfect summer window?
No, but that's the problem, though, Drift. We didn't buy a centre back.
But that's
No,
what
I get it, but it still was an 8 out of 10 window, though.
No, bro, I was happy. Like it was a good window.
Jota and Thiago was a brilliant summer. You add
I would say-
Kanate to that,
Yeah.
and that would have been a
But
10 out of 10
No,
summer.
but we didn't, Drift, and arguably centre back was the most important out of those positions to get.
Yeah, because we lost Lovren in it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it
no
was-
one could have foreseen all three defenders having season-ending injuries, but like,
No, we could have definitely foreseen Joe Gomez and Matip getting injured. Not Virgil.
no, but not for the whole season. Couple months here and there, but no one would have ever thought they'd be out for the entire year.
But that's the point, no, Drift. We foresaw Matip and Joey getting long injuries. We knew it was happening.
We know what they're. We know
Yeah,
what they're about.
injured.
Virgil was
not
the
whole
only
year, though.
one we were
That was
shocked about.
crazy.
But because what I'm saying is this year, again, if you're going off history, what makes you believe that FSG are gonna have a crazy window? I'm literally basing this off hope, and I'm praying that they don't do what they normally do, and they say they're gonna do something, and then we end up with the bare minimum. That's what I don't want. But I'm gonna sit here and say, do you know what? I'm giving the club a chance. I'm gonna see if the club will go, do you know what? We've just won the league. Let's capitalize. Because one thing is Liverpool that we've never done under FSG's ownership, and that's capitalize while we're at the top of the mountain. We'll always have to fall back to the bottom and then make our way back to the top again. It took us 5 years to get back from the 1920 season. Yeah.
So,
I'll
I'll apply the logic that I'm using, bro, rather more so than hope as to why.
Why you think? Yeah.
Why I think so. Wow. I think it was Slot's idea.
Uncle Rod's.
I knew Roz was talking about me.
Wow.
What do you say? Uncle, you got mad?
No.
No. It's so I personally believe that it was Slot's idea to run the season the way we did. I think they asked Slot who we wanted. Slot gave them the players that he wanted. Zubimendi was one of those. We tried to get him, couldn't.
Yeah.
I think Slot was the one who went, you know what? I still think I can run with what I've got. Don't just get me anybody. Put that money in the savings. Then we get to January, and I truly believe that the market value, we don't like paying over odds. So we were like, it's too expensive in January. Let's leave this.
Kvaratskhelia.
And then, no, but I actually think we'd have gone for Kvaratskhelia if he wasn't so far down the line with his PSG negotiations. We just dropped the ball like we did with Caicedo. I truly believe if he wasn't down the line, we would have gone for him. So I look at that. Then I apply logic to no manager, and I mean no manager in world football goes 3 windows at a new club and doesn't buy anyone. You have to start putting your stamp on the club. Unless you're like a Burnley manager where you never have money and it's just about dealing with what you've got. Any top club, no manager goes to a top club and goes 3 windows without having any influence on the players that are in his playing staff. So there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that this summer, Slot brings in 3, if not 4. Wouldn't even be shocked if 5 players, not for the first 11, but just into the squad that are his players, where he's starting to put a bit more of his stamp on the situation. Then you look at the fact that we have actual needs. So this ain't tweaks where we're going, maybe. Yeah. You're looking at right back, Trent's gone. You're looking at left back. Both left backs are way past their best. You're looking at centre forward. Have to get a player in there. He doesn't want Nunes anymore. So there's actual positions in the squad that are musts. So you have to replace. It's not one of them scenarios where you're just thinking about whether you want to. You have to go and buy players for those positions. So you're being forced to spend, like we did 2 years ago with the midfield, where we knew, like when we knew you have to spend. There's no doubt about it. You've got to go and spend in the midfield because all the players have left. You have to replace them. And then on top of all of that, I even then just use a little bit of logic from watching Face a little bit. And I think an example of how it can change is the Cronkies. Very similar to FSG, very tight with the purse strings. It's not about winning, it's about consolidating profit, etc., etc., etc. But even they realized you've got to invest at some point. And I think FSG will think this is the moment where they've got to be the ones to go, right, we've made so much money over the last 18 to 24 months with no expenditure. It ain't the worst thing in the world now if we spend what we have. Remember, we're not going to go overboard. We're not going to go, they're not going to be coming and putting money out of their own pocket, but we've got a reported 400 million where we don't go over PSR. So we can spend 400 million and not be out of whack for PSR.
Do you think FSG are going to put money in their own pocket, or do you think we're only
No, but the club's got 400 million of our money with them not having to put
reportedly,
in.
But remember that 400 million is not just to be used on transfer. This is where people get wrong. It's not just like transfer money. That's money within the club that's going to get designated to certain sections.
No, I'm talking about the way the structure of PSR is. Liverpool can spend 400 million and not violate PSR.
But you know we would never spend.
That doesn't mean we have 400. That doesn't mean we have.
And I don't.
No, but what I mean is, but what I'm trying to say is,
you're just saying if we had 400 mil and we threw it
play with,
we wouldn't get in trouble
within the restrictions of the rules. I believe we'll at least do 300 of that 400. Do you get what I mean? Like that's why I believe we will spend 300 this summer. But the thing is, we'll bring in. I think we'll probably bring 100.
No, we will. This is what I'm saying.
So it won't even be that. But if we can spend 400 without actually making money, I definitely believe we'll spend 300 when we know we're going to make at least half of that back anyway. So do you get all of my logic now? This isn't me just going, oh man, I hope. I'm actually trying to think and actually structure what, like if I was in the board and like and all of the things I just explained, the things that I think just mean you've got to. Like there's no way around it. You have to do a big summer.
What you're saying is logical. The problem is, maybe you could say PTSD, there's too many times our club has thought illogical. What you're saying is spot on, and that's how you should think. That's how you should think to run your business. Like you want to make sure you don't lose your assets. You want to make sure you bring in more assets that are more tenable at the club. But the problem is, though, Driv, I've seen too many times under this regime to the point where I'm going to stop thinking logical. I'm just going to go with hope, because every time I think logical, I think we're going to do X, Y, and Z. We don't really do it. And again, the only reason we've done the midfield thing is because we had no choice. Imagine this year, Jurgen Klopp is a legend at Liverpool, yeah? Jurgen Klopp couldn't even get them to loosen the purse strings. There was a few times you saw a couple of cracks with Jurgen Klopp. I'll never forget there's one interview where he was like, we got bills to pay. He said, we got bills to pay. You could see like he wanted to do a bit more. And he even said it in one of his exit interviews where it was like, there were things I wish we could have done more, but I understand the owners and they've given me everything. The
biggest time he cracked is when they let Genie go.
I remember, this is a legendary manager. Don't get me wrong. This manager will also be kind of legendary because he just won a league in it. But what I'm saying is Klopp had a higher status, bro. Klopp had a status to the point where he kicked out everybody out the boardroom and said, I'm running things. You man can't tell me nothing. I have a direct line to the board. Michael Edwards, if I need something, I'll ask you. Slot, and remember, he was a manager. Slot is a head coach. That's why I would say you're thinking logical. However, again, I'm going with hope. One is a head coach who's already at a disadvantage. So therefore, it's mainly going to be the masterminds at work, like Edwards and whoever's in the thingy, trying to crunch the numbers and get the right players. I just pray, bro, and I pray that they think logically for once. Because if they do, then we're cooking. If they don't, do you know what I see happening? We probably will get those 2 to 3 players, but I feel like we need more. I think 3 players is like the bare minimum. Left back, centre back, and a striker. That's the bare minimum, right? But when we say big summer, you're thinking 5 players. That's a big summer, isn't it? 5 players is a big summer.
I think 4. Okay,
I said that at the beginning. Yeah, maybe about 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 players.
I've forgotten one other thing that I said to Cal earlier, bro, when you weren't here as well, that I think the difference between Slot and Klopp for me is that I think Klopp is all about I do what I need to do, which is why very much in that mold of like Pep, Wenger, Fergie, where like he's like, like you've got to deal with my plan, innit? Well, I'm gonna do my plan. You got to deal with my
True.
plan. Whereas I think Slot is from the new brand, where he's like,
Mm.
I'm gonna pay attention, I'm gonna see what's going on, and I'm gonna apply my strategy accordingly. So I think
I heard
he'll
that, I heard
also
that.
be different to Klopp in the window. I think we'll watch face. I think we'll look at what Tottenham, what Chelsea, what Arsenal, what City, what Man U are doing, and we'll apply pressure according to what those are doing. If they don't go ham, maybe we won't go ham because we're already better. If they do go ham, we make sure they don't go past us and we go ham. I think Slot is going to watch face, especially City and Arsenal. I think he's going to go, have they replaced Partey? Have they got a striker? I think he's going to do that, and he's going to be like, right, we need to move then because we can't let them catch us. Do you get what I mean? Whereas Klopp was more like, man, we do what we want.
Isn't that too risky to be reactive like that, though, Drift? Because if what if
You want to
players
be,
move-
you want to be
I'm
proactive.
just adding another
You're
bit
just
of logic
okay.
as to
You're
why I
just
think
saying,
we'll definitely do stuff because I think we will pay
I
attention
want
to
us to
what
be.
everyone else is doing.
Do you know if we're
Because I think
proactive, we wrap
Slot
up the
is
league
smart in that way. I think
again.
Slot's like, I want to know what you lot are doing. If Arsenal go and get a striker, shit, that might give them an extra 5 to 10
Drift.
points in the league. Do you get what I mean? Etc. Etc.
What you're saying is true, and I'll add to that. I understand what you're saying. To add to that, if Liverpool were proactive and say we got 4 to 5, like how I'm hoping, but you think will happen, we wrap up the league again. It doesn't even matter what the others are doing because
100%.
if you're adding 4 to 5 quality players, remember we're already ahead. So even if the others add, we're adding again. So it don't matter. We're already ahead of you. All we got to do is keep adding quality. You can't surpass us. It's only if one summer we stand still, that's when teams can get level or even surpass us. So, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have to be, we have to do the business.
And I think we'll know pretty early whether we're going ham because if we're signing Isak, that will happen in June, early July. That won't drag out. It's either not happening or it happens in the first few weeks of the window opening.
Something that's been dragging out for a long time is Trent's contract situation. Matt, after seeing yesterday, do you think he stays or goes?
At first, I thought he definitely gone, but from what someone told me, I think he's still going, but there's a battle. There's an internal battle. There's an internal battle in it. Do you know what I mean? That's all I can really say on it. I still think he's gone, but I think Liverpool are doing everything they can to keep him. There's a reason why it's quieting down a little bit. I know a lot of journalists are still saying they expect him, Ornstein, Retete. I know Fabrizio's taken off his pin tweet, but again, he does do that every now and again. I think people think he's done, or like it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. But I think after winning the Premier League, unless you're a robot, you're going to feel the emotion. And he's not a robot. He's a human being. He has a mum and dad, so that makes him human. So that means he's going to have emotion in it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we can't act like man's Terminator.
That's the quote of the year, by the way. So
I don't even know what I even said. But,
he's got mum and
it was the complete dismissal of the fact that aliens might have mums and dads. It's like
he's got mum and a dad. That means he's human.
But you get what I'm
did
saying.
the dogs not have a mum and a dad? The
No,
lions not have a
but
mum and a dad.
you get the premise though. Allow me. You get the. I'm not good with the analogy, Juice. You know that. That's not my bag. That's your bag, innit?
No, I'm not gonna lie. It was actually bars, but it's like, but if you deep it, it's actually
yeah.
true,
What I'm basically saying is, he's human like the rest of us, and bruv, there's no way he can like fake being happy winning the Premier League, innit? You can't do that, bro. Like people would see through it. Someone will catch a moment where he just looks a bit off or something or whatever. There's none of that. Right now, I think he's playing on his mind what he really wants to do. Maybe I'm clinging on to too much hope here. But maybe there's a reason why Fabrizio did take off the pin tweet. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason why J.W. Henry stepped forward and spoke to Trent. Why didn't I see J.W. Henry speak to the other players? Maybe he did speak to Virgil. Or maybe no one got the picture. But why was it Trent though? Just asking questions.
What? Am I wrong in my thinking?
Right, Jeff. Wait. I've got a quote from Lewis Steele. He's been very active today. He says, at this stage, nothing is officially signed regarding Trent's future.
I want to say something, Cal, but I can't.
No, you can't.
Am I crazy? in
I'll
thinking,
cut your mic and camera.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I-
I'll be
am I
banned
crazy
from
in
Kopish for
thinking
the.
that
I'll
the
be
most
banned.
important
I'll be
people, yeah,
banned.
Say
the
again?
most important people in this whole situation for me, am I crazy when I think this, are actually the two people who are also our worry. I think if Salah and Virgil are talking to Trent about staying, I think it helps to convince him to stay. I think powerful
Agree,
people
yeah.
like that at the club who've also done the same thing, I think that helps a lot, you know, especially Virg. If Virg just puts his arm around Trent and says, bro, come on, man. Come on, this is the place to be, bro. You don't need to go nowhere, bro. Like, this is the place. Look at these people. This is your people.
Can I ask
I
a
think that
question?
massively helps convince Trent to stay, you know.
Even Gakpo, just to, so I'm
Yeah.
glad because Gakpo
Yeah.
said, "Oh, with Trent, sorry, with Virgil, with Virgil and Salah staying," and he goes, "Hopefully Trent." Even when so you're saying hopefully, again, that means there's hope. You believe, like so. Again, it's
Is
different.
this a little Easter egg like when Jota said about Salah and now look Salah's stage? Remember when
'Cause
Jota made that
he
joke
did
about
remember
Salah?
he didn't have to mention Trent. He could have just said, "Yeah, the club's going in a good place with and he didn't. I remember he doesn't have to mention Trent at all. The fact that he's saying that, he's hoping, he's believing that something can change. Listen, I think he's right now. I'm saying 60-40 that he's going. But if you asked me last week, I thought it was 99% done. He's going Real Madrid. I do think winning the title and him obviously playing even a part as well might have even swayed because it sounds crazy. Let's just say, for argument's sake, Trent was still injured, wasn't really a part of it. Although he played his part in the season, he's still gonna be like, I don't know, like, oh, I didn't get to play none of the games. Like, he actually helped affect the title race by scoring a goal. Do you get what I'm saying? That's gonna hold a bit of weight as well. So you have to think of it like logically. Emotionally, he's still attached to Liverpool. You saw it in the celebrations. We can only hope that he does stay in it. At this point, it's up to him. But I do think now there's more. Maybe there's more light in the
Yeah,
tunnel. Maybe.
I think there's a slight possibility that we could be having a
Do you
Gerrard
want to say
moment.
something, Carl? You want to say something, Carl?
I just want to ask a question.
Just quickly though, do you lot also believe that the summer is important as well? Because his contract runs out on June the 31st, right? Or July the 1st? One of the
Yeah,
two,
June or July. I think I can't
June
remember
the
which one.
30th, he's a free agent on the 1st.
June the
of July.
30th is a free agent. When does the transfer window open? Is it June the 30th? Is that when
July the 1st. You can start signing players pretty much any time, but they can't officially move
I
clubs.
think, yeah, okay. So let's say we're halfway through June. Yeah. Trent still isn't officially gone.
Yeah.
Bang. Isak standing at Anfield with a Liverpool shirt on.
What? Why do you keep on saying Isak's name, bro?
No, I'm
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to say
Isak,
that's
sure.
the type of thing that also convinces Trent, right? So the transfer window is also important in that regard because he might be like, yo, Isak's about to come in the door. Why would I want to leave? So I'm just saying, like, that's why the transfer window is also, it could also play a part in whether or not Trent stays.
Again, in regards to Trent, I do think Liverpool are trying. I do think a couple weeks ago it was basically done. I thought it was done, like on the verge. The fact that he hasn't signed, remember, you can sign a pre-contract. Liverpool he doesn't have to officially announce it, but all the journalists will catch wind and rare tear. He didn't have to say anything until the last game of the season. The fact that he hasn't signed a pre-contract, or in his mind, he feels like he's respecting Liverpool by making sure he doesn't sign until the season finishes. You can look at it both ways, innit? You can look at it like he's unsure, that's why he hasn't signed for Real Madrid, or you could look at it like, nah, do you know what? I can't sign this while we're still playing football because that's just crazy. Even though he's officially allowed to, he can sign a pre-contract right now. Literally, right this second, he can sign a pre-contract. That's that Real Madrid wouldn't be doing anything wrong. But the fact that he hasn't signed it, and the fact of the matter is, I just put like this. I know Liverpool are not giving up. Whether we are able to convince him to stay, I don't know. But it's a fight. It's a fight, though. It's definitely a fight. It's not as straightforward as I thought it was.
Do some fans owe Trent an apology in the sense of they crashed out on him and there's been zero evidence since the crash out that he's signed anything with Real Madrid or committed his future to Real Madrid?
No, because he still didn't do enough to not create the speculation and people's assumptions And it's quite easy because we have other examples. Salah and Virgil, especially Salah, openly, I want to be here. I love Liverpool.
But Trent
Trent
from the beginning
could have. Trent, he didn't have to talk about the negotiations to give people assurances that he loves the club. He didn't. That's an excuse for me. He's trying to gaslight us when he goes, "Oh, don't talk about my contract." Yeah, all right, cool. Like we know.
gaslighting.
But you can still make statements like, "I love my club. I want to be here. Let's see what happens when it goes." You could have said so many things that where you're not having to actually talk about it, but you're stopping speculation.
So hold on. Hold on, Matt. So
yeah, go.
He came out from the beginning and said he's never spoken about his future publicly, and said he's not going to start now. If anyone doubts his love, then I think we're being crazy there. I think he showed over the years that he loves Liverpool Football Club. Say what you want about him as a footballer, as a defender. If there's one thing we can't question about Trent, is his love for Liverpool Football Club, in my opinion. So
I get where you're coming from, but a lot of performances have displayed a lack of...
Everyone went crazy when the rumors come out from the Real Madrid mouthpieces such as Marca and all that he'd made up his mind and he's definitely going to sign for Real Madrid. Lewis Steele's come out today saying nothing's been signed. Do we remember the day when those things came out in the media, how much there was a crash out? Look at the contrast. That's all I'm saying. Just look at the contrast.
No, but you can't dismiss the fact that Real Madrid...
were saying he's moving to Real Madrid for June.
No, but Real Madrid, especially if you listen to people... If you listen to people who are in the know, which we can't sit here as fans and act like we can't listen to, or we shouldn't listen to professionals who have been through these situations. And every professional said 100% Trent's entourage and Trent's people were informed of the Real Madrid bid and would have said, do it. There's no way they would have just... Real Madrid would have just done that without speaking to Trent and knowing Trent will be open to it if Liverpool say yes.
Which professional said that?
Tons of professionals. I've watched loads of pundits
said that.
Ex-footballers, people in the know, managers who are on that. Loads of people, brother, have said.
But if you're looking, in my opinion, that you're looking at it one way.
Another, all right, knew that bid was coming.
They did. All right, let's go.
Unless you know Trent is up for it.
Let's go with your argument that they did. You know, people could.
And then look at his performance. But in the Man United game, that's when people crashed on him.
But people can use that to get a bigger contract as well, though. That's another thing. It's
the
about...
Real Madrid bid was around the Man U game, and he was shocking in the game, and that was why everyone was like, his head ain't in it anymore.
Do you think Trent is using Real Madrid's leverage to get a bigger contract at Liverpool?
What was the game after the Man United game?
Is that fair to say, guys?
Sorry, say that again, Matt.
Do you think Trent could be using Real Madrid to get a better contract at Liverpool? Even so, say they offered him one.
Yeah, maybe.
And here's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, again, I don't know. This is speculation. I kind of like what we're all doing. It is speculation, right? The brother said he's not gonna say nothing. I don't personally like that. That's just me, though. And I understand, Drift, you're like the same as me in terms of you'd rather him say something. But I also understand, though, that's him. If you don't, I can't like. I don't think there's a wrong or right. If you don't want to say nothing, that's you. Just because Salah and Virgil done it, you don't have to be like them. I get it. They are legends, and I suppose we would look at it and go, you should be following legends because this is what legends do, right? But maybe that's just him, bit different, bit more shy, gets a bit too fluff. I don't know, innit? What I'm saying is, if this is his way of dealing with it, we just got to let him do what he's doing. And even if we feel like he's handled it wrong, that's his choice. The only way, like I said, I will be annoyed is if it did come out, for example, that he obviously planned this whole thing and wanted to leave 2 years prior. I fully understand that. And again, I've said it on many streams now. How you deal with Trent if he was going to leave, that's up to you as an individual because everyone deals with things differently. Some people just do the whole, funny man, I can't be bothered. I don't really speak about it ever again. Some people would get mad, like, do you know what I mean? It's how you deal with it. What I'm saying with Trent Alexander-Arnold is his future. I do feel like he could have said something, but at the same time, I've got to understand that's just that's how he wants to do it. I'm not him. Drift, you're not him. Neither you, Carl. So we just got to let man do what he's doing. That means let him off the hook. That's just his way of dealing with this situation because he knows how highlighted it is. And the last point I'm going to make is this. Drift, I remember, this is not even to have a go at you, but I remember when Salah was speaking about his thing, you were like, oh, bruv, the timings were wrong. with Salah speaking about the contract situation. And you were like,
because
bro,
it was, I forgot it was just before the Man City
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
It was like, just don't
I
do it now.
understand.
It's a
No,
big
no,
week for Liverpool.
I
Don't
understand.
do it
Yeah,
now.
and your point was the timing was all off. I fully get it.
I think it was Real Madrid and Man City, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it was like, bro, don't make it about you when we got these two massive
No. I'm
games.
agreeing with you. What I'm saying with Trent though is he's doing the whole. Well, you can't even say anything about timing because I ain't saying nothing. So you lot can't say nothing.
But he's
If you
been
wanna,
asked a lot.
hear me out. If you want to make an assumption, that's cool. If you want to make an assumption, that's on you. But he's doing the whole. I saw what happened with Salah when Salah tried to tell you, man, the legend tried to tell you how he felt. People were Carragher was trying to cook him and say it was disrespectful. Like you just said timing. Maybe Carragher said the same thing. Fair play. But what I'm saying is this: he's doing his own thing. Let's see what happens before we start make judgment, though. Because do you know what's going to be mad? Because I don't know why. I think he might be staying now. You know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's mad.
We'll
It's
see,
mad.
man.
Another person whose future's up in the air is Diogo Jota. Apparently, has been linked to a move to Saudi.
Bumba.
Won't spend
That's
too
the
long
only
on this,
place
boys.
where we'll get value.
So do you think Jota? I don't think Jota looks at Saudi though and thinks I'm gonna go there. That's the only thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't.
The only thing that would make me think that Jota would go there is if he knows he's surplus to requirements at Liverpool after achieving everything at Liverpool, he probably would look at it like, I'd rather get the bag. Because, like, if he leaves Liverpool, I think it will be very lucky if a club on the same level takes the risk of the only reason we're selling him, which is his availability. Because the talent isn't the problem. So,
yeah,
I think he might think to himself, unless maybe, but then Italy, like places like Italy and that ain't really got money. So I'm like, who would give us 25, 30 mil for him?
Spain,
Matt,
maybe.
I want to ask you a question. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah,
I hear what you're
yeah.
saying, by the way, Drift. Does Slot want to sell Jota, in your opinion?
So this is where it's tough. So he's the most used forward out of the strikers when he's had either Nunes or Jota. But I don't know how to kind of gauge that because it's more like he just doesn't maybe rate Nunes, so therefore he's just going to keep playing Jota. Maybe there's been a couple of differences in Nunes as well. He's always spoken about, if Diogo Jota was fit, like, you know, how much he rates him. But at the same time, it's like he also knows that he's injury prone, and we have to keep it a buck. Even though Jota didn't have a great start to the season, I wouldn't have said I saw a decline in Jota. When Jota came back after that injury that he had, I don't know what happened to him, but it's like he just declined in front of us from a physical aspect, like in terms of like his athleticism looked like it was on the wane, and maybe I don't know what it is,
Bro,
but
he looked like someone who had a punctured lung to me.
Yeah.
That's a serious injury. Do you know what I mean?
No, I understand. But then if you're medically fit and whatnot, maybe you need more time. I don't know, but maybe you might not ever recover from that. I genuinely don't know how it was. I'm not a medical person, so I can't speak on it like that. But what I'm saying is that it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool, not trying to actively sell him, but I think Liverpool go, if we get a good offer, we sell him. You know what Michael Edwards is like? Michael Edwards will look at that and go, hold on a minute. What, you men are offering like 50 for Jota? Like, all right. Speak to the whoever, they'll crunch the numbers and they'll make it work. You know they will do that. I just think
one's offering 50 though, bro.
Saudi will.
Saudi.
Yeah. Apart
He's
from
28. In fact, say this. Hear this.
Yeah. Only Saudi. Only Saudi.
Jota's still a marksman. There's not many marksmen around Europe of high caliber. Someone will take a chance on Diogo Jota. Someone will look at him and go, I reckon we can get him back to how he was before. This is what teams do. They take chances. There's teams that
I don't even actually think it's a bad thing for us to keep him. You don't know how I feel about Jota. If we go and buy a bad boy forward, I'm totally fine with Jota being the backup. I know it's a risk. I still love Jota. I ain't ready to just crash out on Jota and just.
I'm not crashing out on Jota.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not saying that. What I am saying is
about being realistic. If
get
your backup is meant to be just as available, if not more available than your starter, because that's the whole idea. If you're backup, you're meant to be ready to take on take the baton. If your backup's not there,
so would you be really annoyed if Jota stays this summer?
I wouldn't say I'd be really annoyed. I'd be a bit like, come on, man. Like, we kind of know what the situation is here. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? for me, don't take risks that aren't necessary, in my opinion. But speaking on that though, because he's not the only striker that's been linked with a
Just quickly, I want to ask you about a quick question regarding what we're talking about. Would you rather sell Jota and move Diaz to the number 9 spot next season and rotate with the new striker we get, or would you rather keep Diaz and sell Jota?
It depends on who we get for left wing and striker. If it was like a Nico Williams and
all right, let me make it plain and simple. If the club had to choose, are you selling Diaz or Jota? Just to make it simple.
Diaz, because he'll bring you more money.
No,
Jota.
so you'd rather sell Diaz than Jota?
No, you said what I think the club would do. I think the club would rather take the higher transfer fee. So if Saudi offers 70, 80 mil for Diaz or 40, 50 mil for Jota, I think they take the Diaz money.
So you think the club would take more the money, but but the club is also taking a bigger risk on a player that they feel could be on a decline.
They'll sell Jota before Diaz.
Okay.
Because
because you got to remember as well, the other issue when it comes to like selling, Diaz has got 2 years left in his deal and he's on a very low wage.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to give him a new contract, if you don't sell him this summer, then you fucked up. Basically,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is, do you see a future with Diaz or Jota in the next 2 years at Liverpool?
Diaz. I think Diaz stays. I don't think Diaz goes anywhere. I actually think we might give Diaz a new contract, which I'd be happy about.
Yeah, we might. Speaking of someone else though, who's been in the headlines, it's Darwin Núñez. So Liverpool have informed Darwin Núñez that he is not part of their plans for next season. Nottingham Forest are interested, but Atletico Madrid are best positioned for a signature, with Simeone willing to bring him on board. Price tag of 35 mil to 38 million pounds. Goes on to say, Liverpool are not closed to the option of loaning him as long as it includes an obligation to buy for 35 to 38 million. Liverpool are already looking at possible replacements, with João Pedro, Isak and Benjamin Sesko being favourites. Firstly, the price, guys. 35 mil to 38 mil for Núñez.
Is the amount of money that I would have thought that we would have got. That Saudi money was unrealistic. Like, it was
keep
never
Núñez, don't get Sesko, man. I'm so sick and tired of Sesko being linked to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I don't want Sesko at all.
I'm gonna be real. Núñez has been extremely frustrating. If we lose him, and if we only get 35 million for him after the showing he's had, the signing annoys me even more, because we've not recouped anything close to what we sold him for.
Agreed.
So the signing almost becomes even worse.
Yeah.
Like,
he didn't succeed, and then you sell him for a low fee. That would get me mad. Like, okay, didn't work, but you still get a decent fee. You know, no one's expecting a crazy fee unless it's from Saudi, but a decent fee would be like 50 mil, say from Spain. I'm saying Atletico Madrid just for argument's sake. That's a decent fee for Núñez. It didn't work out, but we got a decent fee. You start doing that whole
crap. Why do you think we can get a lot of money for him?
Because it's about how much we spent.
It ain't, bro. It's about what his value is, not what.
But what I'm saying,
it's because we got offered a lot of money for him and we turned it down, Drew.
Yeah, but Saudi is an anomaly. If he goes to a European club, 35, 40 mil is actually what I would have actually even guessed that we would get for him.
So did we make a mistake keeping him in January then?
No, because you're trying to win a title and you never know what could have happened. You've got to keep the bodies. Money's not important when you're trying to win a title.
You can't be selling Darwin Núñez for 50 mil when I'm seeing other strikers who have no names go for about 35, 40, bro. There's no... He hasn't succeeded.
To be fair, Liam Delap will cost 30 mil this year, and that's with a release clause. And Liam Delap's had one season in the Premier League in his whole career.
There's no way.
Kind of crazy.
There's no way we can't... Like, we should be able to recoup 50 for Darwin Núñez, surely.
We should, but clubs don't have money anymore. That's the problem. All the places we're thinking he can go, like Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, or these clubs don't have loads of money.
We can't sell Núñez for less than 50, man. That's criminal. I can't imagine spending 85 mil and selling for 35 M's.
Yeah, but bro, we saw Pogba go Man U for 90 million and leave for free. Like sometimes it happens.
Yeah, no, but that's Man United, bro. That's the point, no. Drew.
I'm not trying to copy them.
I mean, we paid 58 for Naby and he left for free. That's a lot. Do you know
and
what I
we
mean?
hear
said
that.
we said he should have been sold.
And he should have been sold to recoup some money. Even I know that.
But if there's no buyer, you can't sell without a buyer, guys.
No,
Yeah.
but there's this illusion that there's no but bruv. You see in football, people always want players. There's a reason why Saudi
I know you're gonna think
Nunes.
I'll be shady. Nobody wanted Naby, bro. The guy left for free and still ended up.
You see this? You see the season, the lockdown season,
whatever it was.
You see the lockdown season. Remember when he played against Real Madrid and he got hooked at halftime, or just before halftime? We could have sold Naby that summer. We decided not to.
100%.
That was when we should have sold him, really and truly.
No, but was there a buyer though?
We could have, bro. We could have bought. We got this.
Bro,
No,
you see when teams say
players.
like, "Oh, this player."
I'm just saying the guy left for free and still went Wolfsburg. Was it Wolfsburg?
Yeah, because it was another season. It was another two.
Another injury ravaged season 2 after that.
No, but if you're free, surely you'll get a better club than that.
No, but bro, you gotta be realistic. Don't matter how good a player is. If you've had 2 injury ravaged seasons, where are you going? Wait, no, all jokes aside, no matter how great you are, where are you going?
Well, the 2 years prior, when you lot are saying he would have still had market.
I was at Werder Bremen. I thought it was
the summer you lot are saying when he would have still had market value. That was when we all still believed that he was capable ourselves. So you don't want to sell a player while you still believe in him.
No, but that's me being emotionally. No, but even me saying that, that's me being emotionally tired, thinking, he's gonna still. But deep down, I know he's gonna get injured. As much as I rated the player, I knew he's gonna get injured. Do you know what I mean? So.
If Nunes is going to cost let's say we sell Nunes for 35 mil, does that affect our summer window? Because if we were
I still think we spend 300.
Okay.
I can't lie though, man. If we sell it, I don't know, man. 85 mil, then we only get 35. I hear it. People have left on freeze. I hear it. But we're not trying to let his contract run down. We're actively trying to sell, actively. If we can't get more than 35, flipping out, man. I don't know.
And then it also depends on where the player wants to go. Origi's a very good example. Wolves was the only club who actually put in a bid, which was 25 mil. Liverpool accepted it, but Origi said, I don't want to go Wolves. So you've also got to remember, Nunes might not want to go to the team that does come in. So there might be a team that offers the 50, but Nunes is like, I don't want to go and play for that club. Because we keep acting like he's just going to go wherever.
Nunes,
do you know what I mean?
Nunes apparently was going to go Saudi.
No, I'm saying, say, for example, Real Betis came and offered 50 mil. I'm like, oh, shit, we're getting the money we want. He's probably going to turn around and go, I'm not going Betis. Do you get what I mean? Because you also got to remember, he's got to want to go to the club that's coming to offer the money as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know,
stranger things have happened. Anthony went there and look what he's doing. Nunes could join.
No, that was only on loan. He's a Man U player still, bro.
Is it loan? They didn't buy him.
Yeah, it's on loan. Yeah, he's only
fair
on
play.
loan,
could this be a thing? I know. Could this be a thing? Shout out to Zakir, Nunes to Atletico Madrid and Alvarez to LFC. Would you be happy with that?
Where them type of things
hard
happen.
to get Alvarez out of Atletico. I think people are thinking that that transfer is almost just as hard to get Isak out of Newcastle. They only bought him 9 months ago.
Harder.
For about 85 mil, I think it was. About 85 mil. We'd have to do some serious convincing.
If we were going to do that swap, we'd probably have to put somewhere between 30 to 50 mil on top of Nunes for Alvarez.
30 to 50. Try 100, bro.
No. Because if we're saying that in the market, we think that Nunes has got about a 50 mil valuation, then 100 mil, you give him 50 mil in Nunes, you're giving him 100 mil.
Brother, they signed him for 95 mil last summer.
You got to think
but that was euros, not pounds.
No, I think it was pounds. I think it was it?
No, I'm sure it was euros.
I think altogether the transfer was about
paid
80 million pounds
for him.
I think it's about 80 million pounds. I want to say, off the top of my head, 80 million pounds.
Kyle's looking it up now.
I want to say pounds, 80 million pounds.
The reported fee for Julian Alvarez's move to from Manchester City to Atletico Madrid is a substantial 82 million, potentially reaching 95 with add-ons.
95.
But he went for 80 mil plus add-ons. Jesus.
Good grief.
No, but is that euros or pounds, Kel?
Pounds.
Well, maybe put 50 to 60 mil on top with Nunes then, but that is if they wanted Nunes, then
No, but
maybe.
Drift, hear what Carl just said. So if his value and he's at a he's on a I don't know how many goals he has
95 million, you want to give them an extra 10 million drift?
No, because you got to remember, if this deal's happening, they're happy with Nunes. So they're not just going to keep thinking, oh, we've lost Alvarez. They'll be like, but we're gaining a player we want as well.
Yeah. They're going to
And
want
they're
to buy
not
him.
losing any money. As long as they don't lose any money, they're
They're
not
going to want
be...
money. No, you're right, though. You're right, though, because, if they want Nunes, that means they obviously rate the player. So they've got to rate him at a certain level. The problem is, though, Atletico would know that, like, how badly we want Alvarez, they will fleece us, bro. That we're talking that transfer combined as a package will be about 120, 130. That package, like, pause, will be a serious transfer.
Well, maybe if that's who Liverpool want, they'll be willing to do it. I don't know.
That'll be a lot. How many goals? He's
and
doing really well
I
now,
think
you know?
Nunes in the
He's doing well
Spanish
this
league
season,
would
but...
cook. I genuinely do. I think he'd cook in the Spanish league.
But
so
they Atletico Madrid are in a position where they have to sell Alvarez. He's got 15 goals and two assists in the league, 7 goals and 1 assist in the Champions League. So 22 goals and 3 assists.
It would be about whether Alvarez wants Liverpool, Nunes wants Athletic. You know what I mean? There'd be a lot of variables involved, wouldn't there? But like it just Atletico might look at it like, so we're gonna get Nunes to replace him who we rate, and then we're gonna get 50 mil, half of our money back. So we get a player and half our money back. Cool, let's do it. Because if you flipped it the other way around, then it was a Liverpool point of view. And it wasn't the whole thing that we're thinking, well, we don't like Nunes and we want him out. And it was like, no, we do like Nunes, bring him in. Would we be annoyed if our club sold a player, brought in a player that we like just as much and made money? We wouldn't have a problem with that.
If you're missing the point, let's say add-ons have been triggered and it's up to 90 mil now. They're going to value him. If Isak's valued at like 120, 130, and Alvarez is younger, he's a World Cup winner, won Champions League, won everything. And he's highly, highly thought of across Europe. But they're not going to want less. They're going to slap something crazy on his head like 120, maybe 140, bro. They're going to slap something crazy on his head.
But then it would depend. But then it would depend what. So Liverpool could then go, well, look, Saudi offered us 75 mil for Nunes. So that's what we value Nunes at. So even if you value Alvarez at 130, all right, we'll give you Nunes and 60 mil then, because then that evens out to the value.
But they don't have to accept that. They'll just be like, no.
I get they don't have to accept it, but I don't know why you wouldn't. You're going to get 60 mil and a player you rate.
Because
so it's not even like this. There's going to be anything on your end that you see as a negative.
Because you can get more money, Drift.
No, but they might see the value. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would see the value more in money and a replacement than just money, because you might not be able to buy a replacement.
But you've effectively doubled what their value of Nunes is.
No, because
they value Nunes at 35 mil. Just like you said it as well. If he goes to somewhere in Europe, it's probably going to be like 30, 35 mil.
No, but I'm saying Liverpool might Liverpool might do the whole, all right, well, if you value Alvarez at this, then we value Nunes at this. And then they'll use a bid that was made for him.
I just think they'd walk away from the table, bro.
I mean, yeah, I don't think we'd even go this deep over the negotiation.
Would you want Alvarez in?
Yeah. But don't you remember how much I used to rate it? Like, I was pissed he went to City. Bad boy player. I'd take Alvarez over Isak.
A lot of people would. I don't get it personally.
I rate him, man. He's such a baller. And he's got that tenacity as well. I like that. Yeah, Alvarez is a bad boy. I'll take Alvarez, yeah.
First. All right. Let's help these.
I think he banged in like 20 goals for City last season playing for midfield. Because like they were playing him out of position last year, weren't they? I'm sure he still got like 20 goals in all comps.
Last season, he got 16 in all comps.
And that's playing for midfield, bro.
I don't think he was playing in midfield a lot of those times. Remember, Haaland got injured last season as well. And I think Alvarez came in and took his spot.
No, bro, Alvarez was playing out of position last year. It was weird. They were playing him in like a midfield role because they had like some injury issue. Like, remember, De Bruyne was out till January. Like he played in midfield a lot, bro. He weren't up front as much as you think. So he got those goals from midfield. I love Alvarez is a baller, man. He's a baller.
All right, big up to everyone who super chatted. Here we go. John Conway says, big up Cal, Matt, and Drift, and nice beard, Cal. Hashtag. So big up yourself, John. This is why we love John, man. This is why we love John.
Big up, John.
R. Thompson says, you'll never walk alone. Happy to have shared this journey with you guys. Big up yourself, R. Thompson. Happy to have shared it with you as well.
Yeah, man. Big up.
Dan says, Cal curse is fake. Hashtag number 20. Let's see, man. Let's see.
Remember, it's only a transfer curse anyway.
Oh, so you do think it's a curse then?
No, I'm just saying if we're going to run that narrative, it's not whether Liverpool can do well or not. It's just about who we buy and sell.
Technically, it's not just that, though, is it? It's
leaked.
Is it? Yeah, it's leaked into other aspects of
shit! That is it bleeding into other areas now? What's going on?
You know when you leave the tap on in the bath for too long, bro,
it just overflows.
Could be there. Big up Planner Boy says, I believe in Drift. Man is an oracle who said we'd win the title. Big up yourself, Planner Boy.
Big up, Planner.
Abdullah says, if we're serious, Nunez, Diaz, Simicast, Endo. Also, if we get 70 mil offer from PSG for Ibu, we taking it? No.
No way.
Absolutely not. Simmer says, reasons will go big. 1, Salon VVD negotiations. 2, Edwards learning from 2019 and backing slot. 3, City drop off, Bashetic and Grav with 4 signings. I hope so. I hope so, Simmer. I hope so.
I'm going to say it right here, right now. City ain't never going to be that team again. Pep don't look like he's got it in him anymore. He should have done what Klopp done. He let the club beg him to stay, and you can see he ain't got the energy. I'm not saying they're going to be rubbish, but that 93, 4, 5 point City go on a 20-game winning run, they'll never be in that City ever again. They're human again now. They're back with everybody else.
Mantis says 20 times objectively most successful English club. Facts. Monkey King. Big up Monkey King. A live bird upon my chest. We are the men. Shankly's best. Let's go back on our perch. I'm with legends, guys. Hope you're on the best. Big up yourself, Monkey King. It's been a while, bro. Hope you're good.
Man, big up.
Big up to David. Says, guys, 5 players past or present who you would sit down and have a dinner with. Mine's pretty easy, to be fair. Gerrard, Fowler, Salah, Firmino, and who'd the 5th person be? Alisson.
Mine will be Studge, R9.
Sturridge.
Studge, R9, Robin.
I forgot about Sturridge. I feel terrible.
Klopp.
Players.
He used to play, bro.
Oh, yeah. Always a loophole, bro. Always a bloody loophole, bro.
I lie? He used to play, bro. Oh, the 5th will be between Gerrard and Barnes. The 5th would be between Gerrard and Barnes.
Great question, though, David. Big up for yourself. Alex says people get mauled by dogs and talk about religion like facts.
No, somebody made the best joke ever. It was like, so hold on. You lot are sitting here trying to tell me that you think 100 man can take on a gorilla when I've seen 50 man in the park splurt faster than you've ever seen in your life just because a pit bull runs across the grass.
Facts.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no, I don't think people actually understand that once that gorilla rips the face off of the first man and rips the head off the next man and throws it at him, the other 98 men ain't going to want that smoke in any way, any shape, any form. You can't punch a gorilla and hurt it. You can't kick it and hurt it. Its skin is thick. It's like, how are you, like, I've heard people say choke him out. Who's got arms big enough to choke a gorilla?
But I'm going to be real with you. That fight would be so horrific, it'd be untrue.
it would be absolutely untrue. And when a
It'd be
gorilla's
the,
sitting
it'd
on
be the
top
most
of the last man
horrific
with
thing.
blood pouring from his mouth and his hands covered in blood when he's ripped limbs and arms and heads off of everyone, like,
Shall I tell you what the real killer is? After the first 60 odd, the gorilla might get a little bit tired and sit down. You see the other 35, they'll be kicking and punching it, and it won't do nothing.
it won't do anything.
Bruv, you'll probably break your hands and your feet trying to kick a gorilla.
Yeah, good luck punching a gorilla. You will break your hand
You'll
100%.
break your hand.
You will actually break your hand. I don't even think 100 Ngannus can beat a gorilla, bro.
No, they can't.
Like, I know some people are saying go for the eyes, but like,
What do you think? What do you think a gorilla's going to do to you?
Like, and if you get to one eye, the pain it will feel from that, the rage you will, like, can you imagine the
you're just
wild
gonna
it would
eat
do?
off even more.
You're just gonna get it even more angry. Like, I'm like, there's no chance.
Big up to
100
Mr.
men.
Link says, we made weapons, so why bother going bad? Facts.
No, but Link, the whole thing is unarmed. It's 100 unarmed men. There is no way 100 unarmed men are taking on a fully grown adult silverback gorilla. I'd like, if anyone's been to the zoo and seen what a silverback gorilla looks like in real life, forget the movies and the David Attenborough. Like, I've been in the zoo and seen one in real life. They are magnificent creatures and they are intimidating. Like, I was behind the glass and you just, like, they are huge, bruv.
You're shook, bruv. You have no chance.
No
What's this?
chance.
The
100
whole
unarmed
100
men
men
versus
is-
a gorilla.
Oh, bro, you're not winning,
It's a
bro.
wrap, bro. There's
It
no,
would be-
Because all that's
gorilla
gonna
would rip your
happen
arm off
is
in
the
half.
the first 20 are getting wrapped and everyone gets shook and starts panicking. Everyone runs. Everyone gets killed. That's all that happens. Because the first guy, because who's going to be the first guy? Imagine the first guy knows he's instantly getting killed. So
Yeah,
why
the man who sets pace is done.
he already done. He don't care if it's in Ghana.
It'll be like, you know that. Have you lot seen Glory, the film where, like, with Denzel Washington?
No,
and
don't
like
think
you're like
film,
the
yeah.
first. You know, the first people. You just basically just take all the bullets and die, so the people behind can get there.
But let's say, for example, you got 100 and they circle this gorilla.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gonna think the person behind the gorilla is gonna attack first. But the moment you touch that gorilla, it's
Game on.
done.
Yeah.
It's done.
He'll
Because
break
he's
your
gonna go
bone
into
in
a
second.
rage.
Bro,
Like-
he'll break your bone in a second. And remember, they can turn.
He'll rip your
laterally.
limbs off, man.
Bro,
He
yes,
won't just
bro.
break your
That's what I said.
bone, bro.
No, it'll rip your head off straight away. It
Oh,
can just
it's
rip any
brutal,
limb
bro.
off.
But
That's what they can do.
as I said, I've done jiu-jitsu. I've had to attack people and been attacked from like paws from behind. Bro, even just attacking a human being and wrapping your arms around a human being, bro, who's got a bit of size, is a bit of a madness.
Yeah.
Who's
yeah.
going to try and wrap their arms around a gorilla's neck?
It don't matter if you're. Do you know what? I will say this. All right, should we change it? Do you reckon 100 Habibs could do it?
No.
Matt, I don't even
Yeah,
think
no.
100 Ngannus could do it.
No, I
Because when
agree.
you hit the gorilla, you'll break your hand.
Yeah, of course.
If you punch a gorilla in the face, you'll break your hand.
The only way you can win that fight is if you have weapons. That's the honest truth. If every man has a weapon, then it's the 100 man. Then
And
will
like I
win.
said, we were on the same wave, Matt, because I was saying those first 10, 20 man who get their head and their arms ripped off, the intimidation for everyone else,
The
nobody's on
panic-
it anymore,
the
bro.
panic that would set in, people be screaming.
Yeah.
Grown men, man, them screaming.
Yeah. Screams you've never heard in your
No,
life.
man, I'm out. I'm cutting. No, it wasn't supposed to be like this, bro. No.
And you know what? You know
Man,
another thing as
panicking,
well.
going
Have
crazy.
you lot ever seen? And this is how you know that humans are funny. I've
man.
seen like 10 man.
Yes.
I've seen 10
I'm
man.
not going nowhere
Oh,
near.
Have you lot ever in real life seen somebody get rushed? Unfortunately, I've witnessed a man be rushed.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
And I'm not even gonna lie, humans can't even coordinate rushing. Like, because you know what I mean? Like, the man who was getting rushed was still getting licks in, and what do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Look
and
at
that's
the
just
size
that's
of
just
the
a
neck.
man,
And
you
it
know what I'm
sounds
saying?
stupid, but have you noticed, even when it's a film, let's say in a film, someone's getting rushed, it's never really all at once. It'll be like one steps in, then the
Yeah.
other one thinks he'll get it. It's never really like all at this. Like
Because
even
it's
if
impossible to be coordinated.
Yeah,
You'll be hitting each other. You'll be getting in each
Exactly.
other's way. Like, do you know what I'm saying? This
Who's
you're
wrapping their
getting
arms?
wrapped.
Who's wrapping their arms around this brother's neck?
So he ain't even got a neck.
He ain't
and you know
got a
what
neck,
will be
bruv.
so
He
funny?
hasn't even
Moving
got
like
a
Craig
neck.
Bellamy, bro.
They'll
He's got no
probably
neck.
they'll probably
You know
pick
what?
the only gorilla in the whole wide world that can speak. You remember Caesar?
Yeah, of course, bro.
The gorilla probably speaking. They'll probably pick
And
the
the
one
wickedest thing
gorilla,
is,
the
you see
one
when
that
you
just goes.
see when you're trying to get up under the neck to choke him out, all you'll end up doing is putting your arm in his mouth and he'll rip your arm off.
Of course.
Like,
You want to fight this? No, bro.
Even 100 in Ghana's ain't doing nothing. Don't
You
matter.
want to fight that?
Thing will brock up everything in its path. You know them things fight lions and stuff. These things, but
Yes,
I think
bruv,
people
don't fight
underestimate
anything.
gorillas, bro.
But I'm not gonna lie. If us three were standing there and the gorilla top matting his chest, me and Cal would fall to the floor as well because we'd feel it. That is how hard a gorilla hits, bro.
Why does it have to be me that gets punched in the chest?
I'm just-
You're the most hench, bro. It just is what it is, bro.
I'm distracting it. I'll have wings in my pocket. I just dash it some wings and cut.
They don't eat meat that much like that.
What's
They're
Cal
more-
gonna do?
more
What, throwing some
horrible.
fermented apple juice?
I'll
Bro.
give it my shoes, my clothes, bro. I don't want no smoke.
I'll
You know,
be
they're-
doing that because I'd have a
Yeah.
couple Cinnabons on me, and I'm not gonna lie, he wouldn't be able to resist.
I'm not gonna
tasting
lie.
it.
It'll be a thing of like who
They're
can
so
run the
vicious.
fastest, innit? But you know that's when man panic as well.
What, Matt? They'll catch you in an instant, bro.
Yeah, but if I'm
Yeah,
talking
we ain't.
about
None of us could outrun a gorilla.
this is
no.
no. But this is where coordination
Remember what
really
Hulk
doesn't
did
work.
to Loki? Remember what Hulk did to
Yeah.
Loki?
No, but this is no.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is this is
That's
where
exactly what he
coordination.
would do to us for real, bro.
Yeah, but you see, this is where coordination doesn't work because in that panic, say let's just say we went to a zoo.
Matt, I'm
whatever, or
tripping you
jungle.
over 100%.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You see
Bruh.
that he's tripping me over. Are you seeing this? He tripped me over.
100%.
But what Jiff
Accidentally on
don't realize
purpose.
is if he trips me up, you think I'm not grabbing his ankle or something. You think I'm getting mashed up.
What he said, we gotta die together, yeah.
Yeah,
But you
bro.
can't-
I'd
you
fight
can't-
side by side, but the fight would just end very quickly.
Brother, it'll end quickly. It'll end in that 10 seconds.
Here's
Less
the
than
thing.
that.
It all depends on what the gorilla wants to do. Because the gorilla might just want to just really just teach you a lesson in it and just be like,
Oh, bro, I'm not about that, bro. Because I can't be one of the. Do you know what it is?
have
the
you seen
fear
it?
of being-
Carl,
You know what the fear is? The fear is
imagine
of
people
being,
didn't realize
being
this
severed. Imagine being severed, yeah? And you're
Have you
still
seen what-
alive.
Bro, forget about gorilla. Have you seen what chimpanzees do to humans?
Yeah, but
Yes,
they're
they rip
just
your face off.
they're
My
unruly differently. You see, gorillas, they're a little bit more. They don't really gorilla. If you trouble gorilla, you're a problem. But you see, chimpanzee, you don't have to trouble them. They just come straight after you straight away for no. They just
I
Yeah,
mean,
chimpanzees are like the joke
Another
and they're
monkey,
trouble.
Yeah.
another monkey came in this room now that I'm in. I'm in major trouble, you know.
you best hope that monkey friendly.
Well, it
bro.
depends what type of monkey. There's loads of different breeds of monkeys.
No, but you like just a regular, a regular monkey that's annoyed, just annoyed with me. I'm in major trouble right now.
Yeah, for real. For
Like
real.
major trouble, you know.
Yeah.
You're just gonna see Barry this like, like you're gonna see Barry like
man, mash up his camera, you know.
Man, that's
He's
not the
really-
whole thing.
Bro,
No, but
man's
you know what,
panicking,
Matt?
he's
This
been
would be the
thinking
bit
about
where
it.
we'd be able that you see all that. We'd be all we'd hear is Carl going, oh,
you know how much trouble you'd be in if a monkey just, brother, it would just be jumping from place to place, just hitting you, bro.
Yeah, remember they're mad agile as well, you know. Then
Have
think
you
they will
seen
fly
that?
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
face.
I mean, if it was a baboon,
There's a man
a
holding a monkey,
chimpanzee,
bro.
an ape,
There's
Bro, a
man
monkey
holding
could
a monkey.
suplex you, you know. I'm not joking.
But
Your
there's a
monkey-
man
the
holding
monkey
a
will probably
monkey.
suplex you through your
even
table.
an orangutan, if he was on it, it'd come in and
Oh
trump
no,
you.
orangutans are madness. There's a man holding a monkey, yeah, and the monkey grabs a handful of his hair and rips it from his scalp.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
bro.
I've seen that. Remember, that's when
Brother.
they're messing about. They're not even serious.
Man
them
got
times.
scalped, Drew, boy.
But if I saw a flipping gorilla in my garden, bro, you best leave I'm
the
making
premises
such a
immediately.
quick call to the police, bro. It's unreal.
The
I'm
police.
saying-
You better call the army. How about
I'm saying
police?
Get whoever you've got round here now. With
I'm
all
calling the
types of
army,
He's
bro.
definitely thumping off the door to that conservatory, bro.
Bro,
You
I'm out
best.
of there, bro.
Barricade that door best you can. Get the family out. And duck. That's all you can do, bro. I'm talking. You know when you go into panic mode and you just dash everything. I'm talking the fridge, anything you can think, bro.
Bro,
Bit of
Matt,
panicking.
Matt, I wouldn't.
Bare
I'm gonna
things
be
at the
real.
door.
It'd probably rip the conservatory from the ground up, bro.
Yeah, probably.
But these
Probably.
things can lift like 4,000 tons. Sorry, 4,000 pounds and all that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Oh, no.
By the way, the
Them
only
thing, yeah,
reason why I said an orangutan is because they are very docile, so they're not known for being aggressive orangutans. But yeah, if it's switched, then like it's still a
It's
rat.
problems.
It's the rat.
What? Can 10 colors be a prime Mike Tyson?
I don't think so. I'd kick his ass. All 9 of them, I'd kick his ass.
Well, you man.
What would you rather take part in? 3 versus 1, and the one is Ngannou,
I need to say
or
Ngannou, yeah.
be a part of the 100 against the gorilla. Which one would you rather?
Ngannou, because I know I might live to see another day.
Ngannou's gonna have mercy eventually, bro.
No.
being.
Ngannou's like he's enraged.
But I'm still banning Ngannou, bro. Because remember, a human, you could, as great as Ngannou is, you could catch him off guard and maybe get away. Not fight. I'm talking get
By
away.
the way, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking.
Yeah, Ngannou all day.
All right, what about a 1-on-1 with Ngannou?
Who's going 1-on-1 with Ngannou? Are you
No,
mad?
or be part of the 100 men who take on.
I'm still going 1-on-1 with Ngannou because Ngannou might not kill me. I know I'm instantly dead if I fight.
What's the parameters of 100 men versus the gorilla? Is it in like a field or is it?
No, it's in a warehouse.
Oh no, Ngannou. A warehouse with a gorilla.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy. Because you know the gorilla would also
bouncing off the
No, an empty film studio. 100 men versus a gorilla in an empty film studio.
Nah, it ain't empty. The gorilla will find something and smack you upside down with it, bro. He thinks it's a joke.
So ugly.
He'll probably rip off a railing or something and just knock you in the head with something. Ah, bro, I'm not about that.
Yeah, because I'm running away from Ngannou.
Yeah. Remember,
no, you're in the octagon with Ngannou.
Remember, the strength of a gorilla is ridiculous.
You're in the octagon with Ngannou.
Remember, once the gorilla touches you, you're dead. Remember, once the gorilla touches you, you're actually dead. You're finished.
I can jump over the cage, bro. You see his Herb. You see him as Herb D. So let's get it on. I am climbing that cage, bro, and I'm running behind Dana. And I'm saying, brother, I don't care about the money. Do what you want.
Can't move it like it's Hell in a Cell, you know.
Yeah. Facts. Cage match. I'm out. No way. Shout out to WeChat Football says he will play Kanate injury prone. That's on the Gahey stuff. Mantis says Caicedo, get your clap on, you mug, you and Lampio. Let's call him a mug. Mantis also says the only time Trent jumps to this is
whoa. That's wild.
Can't read that one, Mantis. Big up, brother. Gaz in the building says add by Shetic, Stiller, and Edison, please. You should have messaged me, guys. No, that one's got to go.
That's mad, bro.
That's crazy. Ahmed says Endo at right back last game doesn't inspire confidence for Trent replacement for next season. Nah, we won't see Endo there right back.
Nah, we won't.
Lucky X777 says big up Juice for calling the title in August. Indeed.
Big up, bro.
Yeah, big up, man. You did say it, bro.
Big up to Gang and Deep, who says Drift. We've seen this before. FSG's model took us to the top in 1819, 1920. We all know what followed: complacency and arrogance to not want to take the next step and dominate. Let's see how it plays out first.
The Gang and Deep, I don't think we'll make that same mistake again. That's what I'm saying. I know FSG are who they are, but I don't think that they will do the same thing again. I think they'll want to defend the title this time. You remember last time it seemed like they didn't care about defending the title. This time I think they will want to defend the title.
I hope so, bro. I really do, man.
Uncle Rods, I would ever ask Clark go on with your beard, fam. That's to do with Drift. It says,
by the way, when you buy online, the color doesn't always look the same as it does online. It is what it is. I'll get a different one for the parade.
It is wild, bro. Big up
It'll
Kai.
be way more red for the parade.
Kai says
the
in
parade,
Jamaica,
sorry.
6 hours behind. Feel like Arsenal right now.
Give malfunction. Massive for the parade.
Kai says in Jamaica, 6 hours behind. Feel like Arsenal right now. Big up yourself.
Big up, Kai.
You know, Real Cologne 2.0 says I'm more of a believer that we need a rotational DM instead of a Cam Mac in the 10. What do you guys think? Add Kirk as quality centre back and striker. If we get Belieber, I won't be upset at all. I'll be over the moon. I just feel like
Belieber will be a quality signing.
I just feel like Belieber's not a DM.
He's not an.
He is, but he can do it. He can do it all.
All right, Cal, call me crazy. Is Camavinga? Would you say Camavinga is he? Do you think he's a DM?
More of a DM than Belieber.
You think?
I think it's the other way around, bro. I think Belieber's more of a DM than Camavinga.
Nah.
It's weird. It's hard to say what Camavinga is, you know.
Now, when I watch Brighton, I watch Belieber think defensively more than attack, more so than I do when I watch Camavinga at Real Madrid. I think Camavinga gets involved in attacks a lot more than Belieber does. I watch more Brighton games than I do Madrid games, but and plus Camavinga doesn't always play midfield as well. Sometimes at left back and whatever. But like,
yeah. Quality player though. He's quality.
Yeah. Camavinga, you lot know how much I rate Camavinga.
Camavinga's quality. He's quality. I can't even lie. His quality.
Even though he let me down with that dead performance against Arsenal, he's you know.
Yeah, nah, for real.
Camavinga, that he'd be my first choice, man. Be my first choice. Camera over everyone, man. Lucky says 82 mil throwing Vienna's in Belieber's face. We ain't getting Belieber for 82 mil.
No, I don't think we're getting Belieber.
No, I think you could get him for 82 mil.
No way, bro.
With a couple add-ons.
No, bro. They rate him higher than they rated Caicedo. And they don't have to sell him.
No, I know they don't. Yeah.
You're not under any pressure, innit?
I actually think it get really ugly. Shout out to Mr. Sinclair says last 3 windows we only signed a player the manager didn't want, so we could be satisfied with hey, we won the league, right? But what if we did get players like cover? Do we have a domestic Champions League with a Premier League? If we had signed cover in January, we'd still be in the Champions League.
If we get, and again, I know Carl's going to say stop using them as an example, but if we get Isak, Kirkes, and Belieber, imagine if Liverpool did that summer. We're winning Champions League and Premier League.
That was my dream. Isak, cover, and Salah was my dream front three. And I almost had 2 passes to the puzzle.
That, we're winning the Premier League and the Champions League next season. Kirkes, Belieber, Isak. We're winning both.
AJ Knows Balls says 3 years. Time has wings. Blessings to Kop-Ish. # 20. Big up yourself, AJ.
Big up AJ, man.
Big up AJ. Big up, man.
CJ says as much as we dislike JW Henry, who the F is we? When Jalen Brown was looking for a contract extension, Celtic star, JW Henry stepped in and took control of the situation. He ended up signing at Team Kopish. Who the heck?
I didn't know that. I didn't know JW got involved in that contract negotiation.
Who the hell is we? Who's we? JC. What if Trent is staying but dragging it out because it will be a bigger statement and hype? It shows Liverpool is made up. That step. Players will choose Liverpool over Madrid. Big up, man, them. I don't think it's that calculated, personally. You'll Never Walk Alone 2.0 says, I think he was waiting for Salah and Virgil Trent to sign. I think there was an element of that.
Maybe.
Sean says, remember Mo being filmed at the Albert Dock? Where is that footage? What was it for? Big Trent moment incoming. I think it was an advert.
I think it was a promotion for something else. Yeah, I believe so.
Mr. Sinclair says, "What's your big summer minds? There has to be an Isak, still a Barcola, etc. No project that makes numbers. We are champions, right? We are champions, right? If Trent signs, people who dehumanized him, dehumanized him, lose their credibility."
No.
You're being wrong and strong on this drift. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you just say my bad and you move on.
For calling a man a rat.
A rat. Man's not even
He's
a
a
human.
rat if he leaves. He's
But
not
you're
a rat
calling
because he's just a rat. He's a rat if he leaves.
you're calling him Splinter now, fam.
Yeah, based on the information that he's going.
Yeah, but nothing's happened yet, though.
And then when he doesn't go, then you change your mind. But if he does go, then he is what he is.
I'm gonna be real with you. If someone called me a rat, Paddy Pimlet called him a lizard. He's been called a snake, and then someone wants to turn around and say, "Oh, my bad."
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna cuss out your claw, bro.
Cuss out differently.
You're gonna hear some words you ain't heard before.
And again, remember,
you bad words.
You have to understand as well that you don't really know the full story in terms of at the time he was being called a rat. He probably was going to go. Maybe he changed his mind.
Just leave it there. No, leave it there. No one knew the full story, but everyone crashed out on it.
No, but if he stays, it doesn't mean he didn't want to go. So if he stays, it don't mean everyone can go. I told you, he's always going to be here. No. He might have been out the door and changed his mind.
Might have been, but there was no evidence of it.
Yeah, no, but this is just all to like just suit the narrative of it was
not
wrong for
people
people to have a go at Trent, and it was. You know what I mean, like
it's not to suit the narrative.
It's not.
It was never evidence.
Until it's done.
There's been a lot of smoke, and you don't get smoke without fire.
He was not the one who started the fire, though. Sarim says 20-man Premier League Battle Royal. Who wins?
A 20-man EPL manager Battle Royal. I'm not going to lie. Even though I liked Klopp, I never thought he would win like many fights. I think Slot might have a little something about him still. If there was a little scrap, I think Slot might. There's no Daesh in the league now anymore.
I feel it's Daesh. Daesh would have wrecked everyone.
Do you know who I think? Do you know who I think would surprise a lot of people? David Moyes. I reckon he'll break.
He's old now.
Nah, he's a bit too. Yeah, I think, but maybe.
Yeah, but a lot of the managers are old though, isn't it? So
I would say like
Postecoglou probably wraps a few people up. You know, he does look like he can scrap. He might not be a good manager, but he looks like he can scrap.
He probably has poor IQ, fight IQ. Like he's probably a brute, but he just poor fight IQ. Now probably tries to throw a spinning back kick when he could just go for a takedown. He's just poor.
Arteta would definitely lose because he'd be more worried about his hair. So
yeah, Arteta ain't winning. Nuno Espers, Nuno might, Nuno.
I think if Nuno would mash up people.
Yeah, Nuno would wrap. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Silva's got a lot of fire in his belly. He might brack a couple people up. Still, he gets animated on the sideline.
Big up Freedom in the building. $20 for 20. Big up yourself, Freedom.
Big up Freedom each and every time.
Lucky says, big up Kopish, but I am trying to save real super chats from Matt raging on FIFA.
Big up yourself, Lucky.
Massive super chat here from Sam Max says, congrats to all LFC fans globally. Best community. Waited 35 years to see LFC lift a title at a packed Anfield. I pray FSG don't repeat the past error of not adding players when we're on top. This summer is a big test to see if FSG is committed to LFC dominating for years to come.
Great. Big up Sam Max each and every time. Appreciate it, my broski.
Big up, man.
Appreciate it, man. Enough love, my bro. Trust me.
Sam Max is an OG as well.
Trust
me. You know what I just realized as well? Sam Max household has just had a flip on its head.
Yeah,
he's had to endure 4 years of the red and the blue and white ribbons. Because remember, his wife's a City fan.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah.
So this is the first time that he gets to flip it in Is it 4? Yeah,
4 years. Yeah, because we last won in 1920. Well,
Yeah,
5 years, isn't
4
it?
years.
5 years, 4 years, 5 years. 4 years.
Well, yeah, technically 5. Yeah.
Yeah, or 5 prem seasons, shall we say? Yeah.
Indeed. Perfect way to end the show, boys. Have you got anything you want to promote to the people? Anything you got coming up?
I mean, just before we go, I have got a visual representation of Arsenal's title challenge. I don't know if we want to end with that, since it's officially over now.
No, before we end with that, say what you're doing tomorrow. I'm gonna say, yeah. Before we
yeah, guys. Tomorrow I will be doing Arsenal versus PSG, biggest game of the Champions League so far. Come on, you Parisians. So yeah, come and join me on Big Up Guys for that one tomorrow. Please. PSG, man, save the world. I need y'all to turn into Will Smith, Bruce Willis. Who else has saved the world? Morgan Freeman, Tom Cruise, like
the Avengers. Now we're gonna need all of them.
Avengers,
but you know what?
Like at PSG, you need to get this job done.
And you know what,
get this job done.
If all else fails, I'll be doing Wednesday, Barcelona, Inter Milan. Make sure you're there, people, because if for some reason PSG fail, I am praying either Barca or Inter. Do you know what? I'm going to say it now. I think Barca will go through to the final. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Arsenal.
Inter are looking tired.
I'll be wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure about Arsenal. I'm not sure who's going through.
I'm going Arsenal Inter final.
What?
Yeah, I called this from a while ago.
Bro, Arsenal, do you know what? I hate to say this. Arsenal will be in there, you know.
I actually think Inter's a tougher game for Arsenal than Barca.
No, Barca, trust me. If you've been watching Inter, bro, Inter got thump up in the Milan derby, you know, with their strongest team.
No, I hear that, but I think, bro, AC have had Inter's number a little for a few times now, and as you said, it's a derby as well. Yeah, Inter for me is a tougher task than Arsenal.
Brother, I hope Barca could, because here's the thing. Barca thump out Real Madrid again, El Clasico again, Copa del Rey. I need Barca to win it. Like, I just need Barca to win it. Or Inter, obviously, but like, or PSG.
Yeah.
I need one of them 3 teams to win it. That's all I know. But
yeah.
All right, well, we're going to end with a few examples of Arsenal putting up a valiant effort, but just falling short in the end. So, Arsenal, pick up your damn selves.
Give me your phone, bro. Give me your phone.
Back up, man.
Why you recording me, bro?
On trip. Back up.
Oh, you said what? I'm from EC1, I know, nigga. Give me your phone, nigga. Over here, follow my voice. Follow my voice, man. Follow my voice. You're good, Slow down, stop. All right, the curb is 1 step away from you, man. Just sit down. Right there.
Yeah, right there.
There you go. Let me borrow your phone. I'll call the cops for you, man. I'm good, bro. You need help, man. Don't you want help?
Are you trying to get in your car, man?
Yo, just sit down, man. Just sit down.
Right there, that's your car right there. That's your car right there.
Money on my head, bro. Bleeding in my eyes. All right, sit down. We'll help you. We'll sit down, man. Just sit down.
Do you know I've had that video stored up as well?
Oh, hey, big up Arsenal for their title challenge, man. Big up.
Oh man!
Oh, I couldn't even see that. It's over. I couldn't even see.
Man.
Oh,
bleeding my eyes.
Let the celebrations begin, man.
amakawa jumara, amakawa jumara, amakawa jumara, amakawa jumara, amakawa jumara, amakawa jumara. Shebi onyara, ndo sisi lo dosi yara, uma sensi mayane bara.
Champions, baby.
We see you again. Stay safe, stay blessed with the job.
Love you.
Peace.